Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Of course, we've got with us today Rockheim, officially first. Brian's right above me. Above him, we've got not first, Matt, who is playing Matt. He is Zine in there, and Tam Zine. Welcome on in. You guys, I appreciate you being here today for this episode of the Old School 3 campaign. This is our first Old School 3 of the year, and our first one in a couple months because I was sick and I couldn't really run this. So we'll do a quick little recap on that. Of course, if you guys are in the chat, we this is our most chat friendly game. We have no problem just breaking away from the game. It's also the kind of the most probably it's serious, but it's not like the most super dire serious. Although it has its moments. It's us three having fun and just fucking around a little bit and telling a fun story from our past. So yeah, welcome on in. I appreciate you guys being here. We all the channel points are turned on, all the audio alerts are turned on. Whatever you want to do, whatever you wanted to say, feel free. Welcome on in.
Bring it.
Where last we left off, guys. Oh, and we got channel point too. Channel point redemptions are on, like channel point, like all of the things are on. So if you want to have an effect on this game, you could do all the things, including the very expensive and nightmarish one that is sitting down there as well. So with that being said, let me look down here because I've got two set aside that are left over. From when Andrew was running. Oh, I've only got one. The other one got used. That's right. So let's see here. I think let's say I just want to see how long this one lasts. With a after eating the camera hit. Oh yeah, it's enough. Okay. 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 Sounds good. This is a forever card, an almost forever card until something happens. So yeah, this will be interesting to remember that this is here. With
And
that,
who was it drawn for? Do we remember?
I do, I do. I've got it listed right here. Am I going to say nope? For such is the way of the card. Is the
Fair
way
enough.
of the card. The card doesn't allow you to know when the shit. Like if you don't know, you'll remember, and if you don't remember, then that's what's on the card. So that being said, Matt's like, oh yeah, I remember. Welcome on in, Bentley. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate you. Where last we left off, this game is a rumble tumble of kind of chaos and history. You can ignore a lot of the history for those of you that are viewing. Let's just say that there are lots of RPGs where we've played ourselves, and all of those are canon. They all exist in the storyline that is the Old School 3. Once in a while, we will reference them, but mostly those powers are brought to us in the form of our mythic abilities and some of the gear and items we have, and somewhat some of the story. In the overall overarching part of the story, there's something about the real world, something about the magic being there. They've learned has an effect of why they're here and why they can't get back, why they've never been able to really get back. They have realized that they're like an offshoot splinter of their psyche, if it were, and that they are connected to all of the other versions of them. And for some reason, these versions of the characters retain those memories and a lot of those skills. And they don't know why, they don't know how, but they do know a few things. They know that there are a few gods that have taken special interest in them. They do know that there are two factions in the world that are kind of opposing factions that have taken interest in them. That being the Blackfire Adepts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Rift Wardens. Those two organizations have taken an interest in them, and of course, they've gotten their fingers, whether intentionally or unintentionally, involved in the Pathfinder Society as well as the Aspis Consortium, and possibly a handful of other smaller groups or larger groups. So, this game takes place in the United Galarian. It takes place at the same time as a lot of the other games that we've done on this stream, whether it be the Sandpoint game that is no longer run on this stream. It's no longer run. Whether it be some of the one-offs of the of some epic games that we've played on this stream, whether it be the Stolen Souls, which is now currently not taking place in this universe, it is in an alternate existence. And so that is taking place as part of our crossover on Wednesdays, the Stolen Conquest, which these two also appear in. Matt is one half of the GMs, and Brian and I get to sit back and revel in the shenaniganery that they have created for us. With that being said, last two games essentially, excuse me, the last two games essentially were a catch up of a game that happened for a large group of people. It was a large room with like 20 some people, played multiple tables, and this was what happened with these characters during that game. And while the thought that I'm sure that everybody had was that they would be seeing combat and doing things, it was really kind of just a storytelling episode. It was kind of a you have all this time to train, to craft, to do whatever you want. It was a downtime episode, really, and they got to also see some things that happen in the world as well. Why is there a green spot on my map?
So I have an aura now with my paladin levels. So all of you in my green aura have +4 to saves versus fear.
Okay. Can I turn the aura off so I'm not seeing it on the map until we do it?
I can turn it off.
Okay. I, as the GM, cannot affect your aura? What the hell?
I mean, you could have, but I knew how to do it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, keep it in mind for when we need it this way for the stream. They can see the stuff, but that's cool. So a lot of stuff over that course of time. There was training involved. There was learning crafting. There was a little bit of research. There was a lot of research that could have been done. I'm not gonna lie. I left there was 12 or 13 places you guys could have looked for information. So here's the funny thing, and I'm gonna spill the beans. When you guys were in the tower, it was literally the information was there of why you guys are here. And you guys are like, nah, I'll just stay. Like, you were there, you picked up all the stuff, you were looking at it, and you're like, yeah, we're not gonna research. And I was like, okay. So it was super funny, and I laughed, and I told Holly afterwards, I was like, they had all the answers to the entire game right there at their fingertips. And don't worry, I, as a player, would have done the same thing. And I actually rolled for Nick to see if he researched, and I rolled 2 or 3 times to try and give you guys a chance, and he failed every single time.
Yeah, I decided to train paladin levels. That just took up all my time.
You could have done both. You had all the time in the world. Literally. So at any rate, they trained. Matt retrained paladin levels. Nick did a little bit of crafting and animal training and was helping take care of the animals there. Brian decided to explore and lose a day of our time because time was passing and we had no idea where he went because he decided to step outside for 5 minutes.
Time is a weird soup.
Time is a word soup because they were on an extra dimensional plane of some sort, crafted by a wizard. And so they realized now, once their item had broken, their item to transfer back and forth, their planar item had blown up inside. Nobody was injured, and they did get the place repaired. They ended up deciding, well, we can stay here until the ends of time, because who knows when someone's going to come back because of the way time goes. You guys might age to death in there waiting for someone to show up. Or you can go out this door that Brian found that goes to a cabin on the main material plane. At which you guys are like, let's go. And so you step out through this doorway and you can feel the shift of time as you step out. And there's literally a face. Brian, you go out first. You see this face in the wooden structure. It is kind of embedded in it, and it moves along kind of like something you would see in The Labyrinth, or the movie The Labyrinth, or something like that, where the structure itself kind of is shifting and moving. It's almost claymation like in the faces structure along the walls. Maybe something from like an Evil Dead or an Army of Darkness, something of that claymation kind of feel on the wall forms in front of you. Matt, you are behind Brian, and you have a decent enough perception. You also see the face on the wall move over, and it says something. Do you guys speak? What is it, Tauren?
Where are the languages
I
on
think
my
it's
new
Tauren.
sheet?
It's the I forget the name of the language.
I do not speak Terran.
You do not speak what?
Terran?
I
Terran.
do
Yeah,
not
that's
speak
what
Terran.
Terran.
I do not.
All right, so it speaks Terran.
Could we roll linguistics
You can
to see
roll
if maybe we can
linguistics.
try to figure out what's happening?
You can roll linguistics. This is a planar language, so it's not very easy.
Okay.
Actually, do you have any other planar languages?
Yes, I know Ignan.
Okay. Your difficulty, I won't make your difficulty as bad
Cool.
because you understand the concepts of planar languages, and you've been studying languages. You've got a higher linguistics, so. And Nick isn't quite in yet. He's at the bottom of the step, so he doesn't see it.
37.
Jesus criminy.
Damn.
You hear the face, and you understand Ignan, and Ignan is like the elemental plane of fire, and the earth element is kind of an adjacent element to that, because a lot of the fire elemental stuff is like fire, brimstone, rocks, magma. There's a lot of crossover between those two elements, and so just like that, a lot of the languages also have quite a bit of crossover. Like French and Spanish are very similar because of their Latin origins, and these have kind of similar structures and concepts. So you're able to fairly easily figure out that the word, because it says something very simple. It says welcome back, welcome back, friend. I hope you are well. The repairs have been done to the other building. If you need shelter, you are also welcome to stay here.
I will say,
and it says it to Brian, not to you, Matt. It says it to Brian. It's very you can tell who it's talking to.
I'm gonna say it says hi, and if we need to stay here, we can.
And Nick goes, "Who says what?" Like Nick's down because you're like it's a cellar, like stairways to a cellar, and like Brian's at the top. Matt, you're like right behind him, and Nick's like down there looking up at you guys, like don't fart.
Oh, I'll get out of the way so we can let Nick up.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. So you move over, and you feel free to move yourself on the map.
I will follow out where he goes and just kind of like walk into this room.
And you realize you are in a bedroom with a desk. It's a fairly simple bedroom. The bed looks very comfortable and well worn. You see a desk that it looks like it's been used, but it's not used a lot. It's got a lot of materials for studying, for reading, for scribing scrolls and writing in writing in spell books, stuff like that. Other than that, you don't see a whole heck of a lot. However, you do see a picture of a young girl on the wall. And you can go ahead and I'm just going to say make a wisdom check, and we'll say add like your proficiency bonus to your wisdom check.
Well, we're not in 5, so we don't have a
like a +3,
bonus.
like a +3 as if you had a skill.
Oh, okay.
Because if you have a rank in there, you get the +3. So just add the +3.
Oh, so I'd be at a 19.
Okay. Ryan? Yeah, the terminology from it was something I learned that from 5th edition, and I liked that idea. And I was like, I can use that, and it applies to Pathfinder because it would be the skill with a +3.
And my apologies, what?
A wisdom with a +3.
Wisdom with a +3, okay.
Unless you have any feats or anything related to memory, remembering things.
Not really.
So, Matt, what you recognize the young girl. She used to live in Biston's Pond. She lived in the tower, and a lot of the people there kind of looked after her. There was a farmer that lived like outside of the tower that she worked with. She helped out some of the. There were a few times she was like working with the wagon makers. If you recall, you guys escorted two wagon makers, the stable master and the wagon maker, who also makes like things like ballistas and siege weapons. And she was working with them for a while. And I see a picture of that young girl. Her name was Ginny.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Ginny.
And so you see that picture on the wall.
I'll point to you. I'm like, oh, hey, look, it's Ginny.
Oh yeah.
And Nick walks up,
Wonder.
and Nick sees the creature, and you see Nick just starts talking to it.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Because it's an elemental, and Nick can speak with all
You can
elementals.
speak it.
Elementals, fae, and animals, and vermin, I think. And Nick looks and goes, so this is Maractus's original house that he lived in for like 40, 50 years with his wife, apparently.
Oh.
This is his original cabin in the woods.
Okay.
And he looks over, he's like, and he says something, and the thing says something back. And Nick looks kind of confused and looks at you guys and goes, do you guys know what a keystone elemental is?
Knowledge planes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm assuming.
I mean, I can do like a
23.
17
Matt, with
because
a
I can
20,
just take
with
a
a
10
23,
first.
you know that they're not actually called keystone elementals. They're called AHKHAT. AHKHAT. And they are elementals that can only be survive on the material plane by being bound to a specific building or structure. That is what you know. Brian, you don't. You know it's
It's a
some
keystone
sort of,
elemental.
yeah, it's a you know what that a keystone elemental is. A keystone elemental because Nick just said it was. But you have heard of something similar to a keystone elemental, or something along those lines. It's not the first time you've heard of the word, but you don't really know what it means or how that translates or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Would I know with my role what they do?
With a 23, yeah, you would know that they basically reside over the building. They help like repair. They can repair the building, but they're also a kind of a guardian. So they're like probably one of the coolest. They're super rare, and they're really hard to get and really hard to bind to something. Usually they just stay in the plane of the elemental plane, but once they get to the prime material plane and they get bound to a building, oftentimes they prefer to stay there than have any want to go back to their elemental plane.
Because it kind of gives them a purpose type deal.
It gives them a purpose. Because there aren't really buildings or structures in the elemental plane because they are just elements. This gives them something to be, and it helps them to serve a purpose. While they are neutral, a lot of people have wondered why they are not considered more lawful because of the way that they work. But it's just they just aren't because they're still a being of nature. But however, they do have many lawful tendencies. So,
does this
and Nick's still looking at you like, do you guys have any idea?
Oh, I'm like, yeah, it's elemental that guards and fixes the house.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Like, and I'm like, I think I want to get out of the old man's bedroom.
And
like, I know it said that we could stay here, but I think it's probably
you don't get you probably shouldn't sleep in his bed.
yeah. So I'll go out to like this
Okay.
main area.
Yeah, and you see that there is a door right here.
Um,
Yeah, I'll head out as well.
All right.
Walking, I kind of want
And
to walk
technically there were two doors, but you guys can figure out that there's like a bathroom, like a bathing room in over on, like, you'll open up the door and you'll see he's got like a little bathing room with like an actual, like, it's a cast iron tub
Mm,
in there and stuff. And there's like runes and inscriptions. Like, the bathtub looks way more expensive than the rest of this building.
I respect that.
So you see, like, you see a little fireplace, you see like a little food prep area in here. You see a table right here with some chairs on it, a beautiful carpet and stuff like that. So as a barber, I love this show and the men's cam. It is every stage of beard growth. Thank you, and welcome on
Yeah.
in. Welcome on in. It's kind of a classic. That's almost like an RPG trope, is guys got to have beards. It's not the truth, but these days it very much fills that point.
Maybe when it's not, hold on, let me check. 10 degrees outside.
Yeah, in the summer, I tend to shave and have more of like a shaped goatee and like sideburns, and like it's a lot more prepped. But it's the middle of winter in Minnesota, so we all are bearded up.
It helps when you have to plow, which Saturday's gonna
If I didn't
suck.
participate in Movember where I shaved my face, it
Uh-huh.
would probably be a lot more brisk. You should have seen us all during the pandemic, though. We were all like bushmen. Well, I mean, Brian's about
This
the same.
this hair is because of the pandemic.
You forgot how to find your barber's house? Is that what happened?
No, my trimmer died.
Oh no,
Oh,
I've got one. I can cut your hair for you if you want. Oh, you mean during the pandemic your trimmer died? Gotcha.
Right.
So yeah, this room, it has a single
So
chair
this
with
has
like
been the experiment since.
right. The fireplace has like a single chair in front of it with like a little side table, a little table of tea. You guys see next to the fire pit on the right hand side, you see a container, and a like teapot and cups and all kinds of tea arrangements. And you see on the wall there's a shelf with all of these different types of teas, and you can tell that they are from all over the world, and some of them are very rare. You might even wonder if some of them, because you know Maractus is a wizard, some of them might have actual like special properties or be magical.
I don't want to fuck around with the wizard shit. I am literally walking outside and gonna try to gauge like what time of day it is.
uh,
Now I am doing this with my 1 rank in survival.
okay.
You have a rank in survival? Well done.
It's
Yep.
negative 26
I
Celsius in Norway. Oh, nice. Whereabouts in Norway are you? Let us know where
That's
in
not
Norway.
nice. That's
It's
cold.
nice that he's in Norway. Because my wife's family like originates from Norway, and they like her mom just went over there to visit their family. So I think that's cool, but it's still Norway. It's still cold. It's still cold.
Yeah, it's negative 15 for us US temperature peoples.
15 Fahrenheit.
Low. Yeah, minus
Fahrenheit.
15 Fahrenheit.
15.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yeah, do the math on Celsius there, Matt.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Minus
Okay.
26 Celsius is minus 15 Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yep.
I live on a small island 4 hours off the
Ah.
mainland. Oh, so you get to go fishing. Sorry, that's all I think about. Fishing. Matt, Brian, what do you do?
I kind of agree with Matt, and I'll say goodbye to
Yeah,
the
and the elemental, it moves along the wall and shifts. And so like when you come into this room, it shifts over by the doorway a little bit. And you see there's other photos in here. There's photos of other people that you know. There's older photos, and you see the photo of a young woman. Well, not a young woman. You see a woman in her 30s, and she's an attractive woman, and she's got a very beautiful smile on her face. And she is adorned with very earth colored tones, and it looks like all of her stuff, all of her clothing is hand woven, hand spun, handcrafted. She's got like a hand carved like staff as well. And she's got a beautiful face. And the man next to her is about the same age, maybe a little bit younger, and he is wearing similar clothes, although some of his clothes look like they might have been like purchased from a store or a place in a town or something somewhere. Brian, you can make another wisdom check with the +3.
Okay. Hey, 22, not bad.
22. You realize the man in the photo is Maractus when he was younger. The drawing.
Whoa. Hey guys, check this out.
He was probably you're guessing he was like maybe in his mid to early 20s, and they both look very happy together.
I point out, look, Maractus, the college years.
Nick comes over and looks. He's like, "Wait, what? Whoa. Did you have to fight an eagle? Sort of boring. Only highlight of the day was eagles trying to grab the dog. Oh no! Do you have just a little dog? Is it just like a little dog? Or is it like a big dog and they were just really big eagles? Our biggest eagles in Minnesota are the bald eagles, so.
They get pretty big.
So watching the eagles fight your dog and then watching a few orcas swim by, totally different level of nature.
Right? That's like our our northern Minnesota nature, wild nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't know who the lady is, but it's definitely, you can tell it's faded. It's a much older picture, although it looks like it might have been restored like at some point.
Okay.
Whether the elemental can restore items in the house or whether magic restored it or what it was, you can tell that it was done much longer ago than some of the more modern pieces that are in here. But you can also tell like this is in better condition than it should be given its age, knowing what's in the picture.
Sure.
You know, because the paint and the open air and in the weather of a cabin should have like cracks and stuff like that from, 20, 30 years of just sitting here in the elements.
Okay. Well, I admit I won't pry for too terribly
Right.
long because it is another person's house. I will offer my hand to the elemental and just say thanks.
Okay. It's just a face. So it doesn't have a physical body, but it smiles and it.
Then I just wave.
Yeah. And Nick says, and Nick says something. You don't know what Nick says. And Nick goes, "All right, I'm coming. Are we just leaving then?" Nick says and closes the door behind him. Are we just leaving?
What time do I think it is with my 16?
With the tree cover and everything, all you really get is it's day. It's a little bit cloudy. So you're not quite sure if it's like morning or afternoon. You know it's not noonish, but you can't really see where the sun is. And with the tree cover and the clouds, it's kind of hard. So it could be any time between like 9 o'clock and like 11ish, or it could be any time between like 3 and 6.
So we just know we're in a forest somewhere. We don't necessarily know where we're at
Correct.
as far as in the hinterlands, right?
Correct.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a look and I'm gonna fly up.
Okay. Polar Nights, I'm sorry, you need to stop watching Fox News. I mean, everybody needs to stop watching Fox News. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's nothing normal about Fox
Nothing
News.
new or normal about Fox News. That is an extremist place with all of the weird. That's where all the weird people go. No one should watch that shit. Right, Bentley. Bentley knows. Don't watch Fox News. Watch anything else. Watch the BBC. You'll get better news coverage from the BBC.
True.
So you just fly up.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly up to see if I can see any features or terrains that I could use as like a landmark to sort of try and navigate.
First, make a fly check.
Alrighty. That is a.
Because this is like heavy tree cover under the heavy. Like you look up and you see like treetops.
Did I do that right? Let me
Good
double
roll.
check. Yeah, I have a plus. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So you fly up with no problem, dodging trees and branches. Now go ahead and make a will save.
Uh, is it versus Sonic?
No.
Let's see here. Wah, wah. 15.
So you get up there, and you kind of there's like a shimmer above the trees, a ways up, that you can kind of you see it but you don't, and it kind of fades right away. And you get up there, and you realize you can't really tell where you are. And you look down, and everything is just kind of a jumble of trees. And you don't really know exactly where in that pile of trees you actually came from.
Okay.
And you don't really see. It's just like forest as far as the eye can see, as far as you can tell.
No, like hills or mountains or
Not really. No.
rivers, lakes, anything,
No.
clearings.
I mean, there is, but it's pretty nondescript as far out as it goes.
All right, I'll kind of glide myself back down.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a survival check to find where the others are. Matt, you and Nick are watching Brian go up, and he just kind of disappears into the tree cover, like dodging through the branches and throughout everything up there.
I got a 4 for survival.
And you come back down, and you find a river, but you don't find where you came from.
Oh, okay.
And it's more of a creek or a stream, but like it has fish and stuff in it.
I'll look. I'll kind of like Matt, Nick.
You can roll a perception, Matt. I'll roll one for Nick. Odds are slim. Odds are slim. Hello, Ninja. Welcome on in. Thank you for joining us. And we do have a Tangia dungeon. Go ahead and exclamation mark join to join the Tangia dungeon. And I was about to do exclamation mark join in the Roll20.
29.
Nice. 27. You both actually hear Brian kind of southwest calling out to you. Off in the distance. And he's just calling your names. You hear what he said.
Stay where you are. We'll head towards you.
Yep.
And I'm like, didn't he just fly up and down? Like, what the fuck?
It's like, yeah, he did. Go ahead and roll. Well, no, I'm gonna roll for Nick. Do 3. Oh. Nick goes, where's the... Didn't the fairy say something about, like, this place is protected and she has to make sure that we have like, protection from, like, the directions of stuff? Like, people can't find it or something like that?
Like in check to remember?
No, wisdom plus your... plus 3.
$18.
You recall her saying something about there being something, but like the only reason you know is because Nick said it and Nick remembers, but he's just trying to verify. So you're pretty sure that he is right, that there is some sort of protection magic in the woods, and that she has to give us basically something. But yeah,
Well,
you recall something along those lines too. She's the one. She had the conversation with Nick, so it was more for him to remember, and he relayed the information.
let's go find Brian and then look for that dryad, that nymph,
Okay.
whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a dryad. Elmily was her name. Elmily.
Emily. But yeah,
I know
I
because
guess
I found her sheet that you
oh,
made years
um,
ago.
yeah, just look around and
Yeah,
look for
you
Brian.
guys find Brian, and like you literally follow that little creek there, that little river, and it goes right to him, and then you can follow it back up.
Nice. And yeah, kind of look around, like,
Which
uh,
way's the water flowing from the creek?
It is
Is it
flowing north.
north? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, we can walk it downstream to.
So Nick relays the information that him and Matt just talked about before they came to get you. Says, yeah, there's something about the forest is enchanted for direction or something like that, and we have to
Oh,
wait for that
yeah,
dryad to come.
that would make sense why I couldn't figure out shit up there.
Yes.
do you know where this the dryad's tree is?
Nick goes, I don't remember where the dryad's tree is.
Do you think if the Ankh might know?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Or we could just walk downstream.
Roll a perception check, everybody.
Perception. Let's see.
38.
Nice.
Holy crap, 31?
Nice. So both of you say that and you look over and then you realize one of the trees is different than the others. And it's very large. And it moves, it sways differently than the others. And you have this distinct feeling that you're being watched, not by something in the tree, but by the tree itself.
Excuse me, tree. We're trying to get home. Do you know where the dryad is?
And
Or nymph? I don't remember.
and you see the whole tree leans over. And this is like if you carved a hole in the base of this tree, you could drive a small car through it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a big tree.
I just under my breath I'm like, tree beard.
Yeah. And it leans over and looks at you and goes,
I do not know Sylvan.
and
Assuming it's Sylvan, I do not know it either. But I can cast comprehend languages.
yeah, you might have to because trees is not on Nick's list of things he can talk to.
And so I will cast
Although I think he might have speak
comprehend
with plants.
languages.
Okay, you cast comprehend languages. Does it just affect you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's so.
So you cast comprehend languages. You can now understand all of the languages.
I'll double check, I guess, if it's creature touched. We might be able to get away with sharing it, but no, range personal or target personal.
So you cast it, and it's just looking at you.
My apologies. If you can understand me, could you please repeat what you asked?
It says, "How did you get here? You came out of my master's home." Well, he's not my master. He is just my maker?
Well,
My friend. My friend. Elmily tells me he is our friend, not my maker. But I owe him a great debt of gratitude. So I watch his house, and if you are not supposed to be here, I am obligated to crush you.
I I appreciate your candor. We are actually friends of Maractus, uh, who are now just trying to basically head to Biston's Pond, or if we're in that neck of the woods, or to our home if we are not. Um, but admittedly, um, we have no clue where we are, which just sounds like it's by design. And we're hoping to speak to. We know that Maractus has a dryad friend that is around these parts as well, and we were
Make a knowledge
hoping
nature.
maybe.
Anybody who would like to can make a knowledge nature while you're speaking.
Okay, I got a 17 because I'll just take a 10.
Yeah, I guess I could just take a 10 as well.
You guys can take a 10 on knowledge check?
As a skald, I can.
As a questioner inquisitor, I can.
You bastards.
I got a 20.
And Brian rolled a nat 20. Oh, no, you took a 10, right?
So I got a 17 for
Okay.
my total.
So Brian, because you're talking, you don't catch it. Because you're
Okay.
kind of the conversation. Matt, you're kind of listening and you're just like looking closely and watching this tree. And you know, you live in Minnesota. There are elm trees in Minnesota. You've been around, you know kind of some of the structures of it, and you realize this is the large, like you were trying to figure out what kind of tree he is, and you realize he is an elm tree. Even though they don't get this big. He is the largest elm tree you probably have ever seen in your life.
Hmm.
Nick also realizes that. And as Brian, you are talking and explaining your situation, you actually start to see like his bark starts to shift, and you can actually see a face kind of protruding out of it, and then a body, and then the body and face kind of comes out of the bark like as a separate entity, and you actually then see the druid, Elmily, standing right there.
Oh, hello.
She's like, I am sorry, I was sleeping.
Oh, well, we're sorry to wake you.
No, I am glad
Uh,
you are here.
You
Is
have
the
a
tower
nice
is the tower safe? Or
treat.
is the did you shut the door behind you? Is what she says.
I look back at.
Nick's like, let me check, and runs back in the house. And then some time passes, and he comes back. He's like, yep, the door's all shut. You guys know Nick long enough to know the door was open, and he just shut it now.
Give him a thumbs up.
So now that extra dimensional doorway is closed, and now nobody can get back in.
Okay, that's good.
And she goes, and she literally just says a few words to each of you, and touches you, and she goes, you should be able to navigate the forest while you were here.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you do that to Tango as well? And I pull up my familiar satchel. Because I don't want to like, if I need to let my familiar out and then he just gets fucking lost and is gone.
She goes, are you bonded to him in a magical way?
Yes.
Then it is already done.
Oh, perfect.
It is bound to him as it is bound through you. If you had a pet that you just raised and was not bound by any kind of magical being, like a dog you raised but didn't have any, you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
Good. She's like, I didn't know your words for it. And she is speaking in common. She's not speaking
Okay.
whatever.
Good, good.
May I ask, do you happen to know, like, may I ask, are we near, like Biston's Pond or I mean, I don't need to know the exact location where this is at because I get it, the secrecy involved with an archmage's domicile. I get it,
She goes,
and we're not sure
you are north of the road to Biston's Pond.
north of the road. Okay,
You are not far from the Ravenswood.
okay.
I pull up my wayfinder. Does it work, or does the magic interfere with like it's pointing which way is north?
It is working currently.
Okay.
Um,
So like we just go due south from here. Then.
you get the feeling that had you not had whatever, it wouldn't be, but because it is on you and your intent is directing it.
Okay, cool.
She explains about it, and she goes, if you wait for the night, somebody from Biston's Pond will be here dropping stuff off, and you can follow them back to Biston's Pond.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a grand idea.
okay.
So what do you do for the day?
I forget. Right now, what time of year is it? Like, is it warm enough to
I'm
stay
gonna have to ask
outside?
Matt
Or?
where in the timeline the
It
season
is.
is. In
Uh,
in the current Stolen Souls
yep.
timeline, what season is it?
It is fall going into winter. It is Neth.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're like a month or two behind Stolen Souls,
Um,
so we're in like
Okay.
late summer,
well, hold on,
Late
let me
late
summer.
just
summer,
double
early
check
fall.
because I just want to check to let you know what Neth is because I don't. Oh, Neth is no what we know as November, so it would be
So it's like August,
So
September.
August somewhere. Okay.
August, September.
So probably still comfortable enough to be outside even later into the evening. So
Yes.
I think at that point, then I will just kind of post up on the porch there somewhere,
Okay.
and I probably will just do some.
And Nick asks Brian, you've still got the spell up. He asks her in their language because he's got the ability to just talk to them.
Okay.
But Brian, you've got comprehend languages up, so you understand. He asks if nature will allow for his cat to hunt as a wild cat would, given that he is not a natural wildcat of this forest. And she says that that will be perfectly fine. That it won't disrupt the ecology of the area. If he hunts for one night. So
Now Nick. Well, she's talking in common, so
she is not talking in common. When Nick talks to her in
oh,
her native language, she responds in that. You understand because you have comprehend languages.
I see what you're saying. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
And so she explains that. And so Nick relays that to the cat, which Nick going or whatever the cat sounds is. You understand him saying you can go ahead and hunt. Be back before morning. And the cat disappears.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So I'll probably like kind of sit on the porch or whatever, and maybe kind of hum a tune here or there, and then eventually lay back and take a nap.
Okay. It is very like this place is cozy. It's also not like dirty, but it's also like you can tell it's been here for a long time, and you are almost certain that this place was far more run down, probably 5-10 years ago, and
Okay.
you can almost feel because you're all magic users, so you can almost feel the power of magic that was used to restore this place over the course of the last handful of years, because frankly, 10 years ago, Maractus was not out of character. Maractus was not as powerful a wizard. So this was
Mhm.
just a rundown building that he couldn't keep use of because his druid wife couldn't keep it. She wasn't here anymore. But now it is actually much more. And you actually realize that the bedroom you came in on, and the bathroom you came in on, and the north end of the building is all new and actually built more recently. The part you're sitting in front of, that one room used to be the entire cabin. That used to be their entire home.
Okay.
So the room with the fireplace and the small kitchen area and the table, that table probably was moved over and there was probably a bed there. And you can actually kind of, the more you look at it, the more you realize that this cabin was a one room cabin. And he very recently, within the last couple of years, added the rest.
Gotcha.
So like this feels like we had time to rest and stuff in the tower, but not actually like enjoy our rest because it was a lot of like retraining, like
Right. You
popping
were
shit
doing a lot
back
of stuff.
in
This is almost
time.
like very comfy. Your first chance to actually relax.
Um,
Because even in the towns you were staying in, you were having to do stuff.
mhm.
Like, yes, there was
Right.
partying at times, but there was still always this thing nagging in the back of your mind. You don't have a lot of that right now, other than the fact that um, you've been asked to come up to Ustalav to help out a noble.
Is there, because I don't have all of my stuff because like we thought we were leaving Falcon's Hollow going to Thrushmore for a little bit and we'll come back.
Yeah.
Is there like fishing gear in the cabin?
No, but Nick has fishing gear.
Yeah, but I figured Nick would want to use his own fishing gear.
Nick probably has enough for everybody
Oh,
because Nick likes fishing with his friends.
yeah, I'll ask if he has an extra rod with him. Because I have my last bottle of the Mwangi rum
Yeah.
and like having some rum, catching some fish, maybe foraging some things to go along with cooking the fish.
Yeah.
And then kind of enjoying the rum on this last kind of like restful day before fucking trudging across multiple countries to
Right.
get back to Ustalav.
Yeah.
That might be like a good way to spend the day.
Yeah. Yeah. He gives you a fishing rod, and he'll actually come down and try and find a good spot with you.
So I reach through my bags and I pull out my old pair of polarized glasses to help see through the
Because they're
top
still
shimmer of
on
water.
your shield list.
Yep,
Nice. Yeah,
because
it's a
it's
nice
like
overcast day. And here's the thing: this forest is as wild as it's probably going to, wild as it's been in a very long time, and as untouched by man as it could be in a very long time. So where we're used to like modern world, go to a lake, go to a creek, go to a creek, go fishing, like you can look in the water with your polarized glasses, you can see the fish. It's not hard to catch the fish.
cool.
And they aren't small fish either.
You
It's
do
actually
realize
it's actually nice and quite fun.
we still have like a hogshead of the Mwangi rum too.
Yeah, Nick's got a couple as well. Nick sold some of his because Nick took a crap ton too. Because we each had our
Yeah,
own bottles and whatnot. Nick's been trading it and using it.
I left most of it in Falcon's Hollow. Like,
Oh, most of yours.
Mine's in the mine's in the group loot.
because like we were on a 3-hour tour.
Right.
Um, Give me a second. I have an animal trying to eat a plastic bag, so I have to kick it out of the room
Oh no.
because they should not be eating plastic bags. Get out of here.
So, Brian,
Yes.
roll your perception.
Okay.
And I'm just
26.
going to put you on this other rock, but if you want to go anywhere else on the thing to fish, you just move yourself where it is.
Cool.
With a 26, Brian, you are actually like laying there and you're just kind of looking around the wilderness, and you actually see that there's like a couple, like some bird feeders out there to feed the birds that Maractus had. They're old, but they're upkept. Um, and there are some birds on there, and you see a lot of like nature type stuff. You see that there was once a little garden over here. You can actually see how it's kind of carved out around the trees. It looks
Okay.
almost like here's the corner points. Do you see where I'm picking?
Gotcha.
So like
Yep.
there was once like a little garden right there, and there's not really any more. But as you're looking around, you notice that there are other creatures other than Elmalie and her treant. Well, you guys got a high nature on it. He's not a treant. You know for a fact
Like-
he is not a treant.
Okay.
He is an awakened tree.
Gotcha.
Which makes sense
That's
for
pretty
some
cool.
of the things he said. But you realize that there are other woodland intelligent beings that are just kind of watching you guys and very curious and entertained, and they're trying to stay hidden and they don't look like they want to interact. But there are newcomers in their forest and they're staying at Maractus's, and many of them have known him since his time in his youth. So they're just very curious and they are entertained watching you. Even if you're just sitting there taking a nap, that is interesting to them.
Fair. Actually, at one point, I'll maybe walk over to the tree that Emily, and it was like, um, eh, Emily.
Think of an elm tree. Like her name has the word elm in it, like an elm tree, but then
Okay,
ILY at the end. Elm Ali.
He
Emily.
might be
Okay.
very punny.
Matt might be very punny. Matt's the one that named her.
Yeah.
Emily, may I ask you a question?
Um,
If it's not disturbing.
give me an even odd that she's still there.
I'll say odd and even.
Yeah, she is no longer there. She either remerged
Okay.
with her tree and went back to the Fey realm, or she is off in the forest doing something else.
Fair enough.
But the treant is still there, or the tree is still there. And you know that a dryad has some sort of connection to the tree. So I mean, you could ask him to ask her to come back, but
I mean, I don't want to. If she's around, I would, but I don't want to bother her. She's.
okay.
I don't know. I don't know what her forestly duties are, so I.
Yeah, she is one of the main. I mean, you get the idea. She is one of the main keepers of this area.
Sure.
Her and the tree, they're kind of the protectors of the area when Maractus is not here, and they kind of
Gotcha.
keep the balance of the forest on his behalf. In
Okay.
turn, on his wife's behalf, who is not here. But you don't know that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they kind of look to him as the protector of their forest. And you actually see a face come out on the porch, because the porch is part of the house, and you see the elemental ask you if you needed needed the fire lit in the fireplace.
Well,
Because he
she did
sees
say-
that your friends are fishing. Because you still have comprehend languages on.
Right. I appreciate the offer. I think we're good for now.
And he kind of gets the grasp of what you're saying. And he responds, if there is a concern with anything in the house, I can tell you what things Maractus would like you to not mess with, if you that would make you feel more comfortable. But most of the house, he is always very welcoming to people using whatever is there. If you are welcome here, then you are welcome as if you live here, he says.
And we appreciate that. Um,
And he says that there are bedrolls in one of the cabinets in the north room, and that there's plenty of room there if you do not want to sleep in the open.
we definitely appreciate that. I mean, we've this ain't our first night out under the stars. You know, we're doing all right.
And then he just goes away. He's like, if you need me.
You know what? I'll just yeah. I'll kind of continue humming a tune here or there, or
Okay. Sounds good.
and probably napping and
Matt, you're not going to need a survival. You catch fish.
Wait.
Um, however much you want to catch and however much you want to keep is up to you. Because you could have enough to eat for a few days, but fish spoils. So
Yeah, probably only enough to like prepare the meal.
okay, sounds good. Nick actually goes off halfway through the fishing. He's like, I'm gonna go see if I can get some herbs and stuff to season it with, and see if I can get anything else to eat. As much as just eating fish alone it will be tasty, it's like it would be nice to get some other stuff to go with it.
that's fair.
Thanks.
So, this is a very lush forest. It is not hard for Nick to find anything. So he actually comes back with like wild onions and wild parsnips.
Yeah, the foraging is good.
Foraging is very, very easy. Of course, when you can talk to the fairies as well and they can help you out, that also helps.
Does make sense.
So you guys eat a nice meal, a nice fish meal. And how do you guys cook it actually?
Um, I think kind of like with twigs, or I mean, we have like
Like, do
daggers
you
and
build a
shit
fire
too.
pit somewhere? Like, dig a hole and build a place to have a fire?
Um, yes, because I can't speak that language and I was kind of far away, so I didn't know there was an offer to open up the
Okay.
fire pit. Um, I mean, we could easily also probably, if any of these rocks are flat, build a fire on one of these rocks.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
cook it there, cut the fish open, kind of fan it out,
Yeah.
cook it that way along with any of the other like garlic, sage, other things that you found.
Sounds good. So you guys cook your meals. It's good. You put the fire. Nick takes care of like the mess afterwards to make sure it's, because obviously nature is the thing here, and so like Nick wants to make sure to respect that shit, and he knows you guys do as well, so he does his best um, to make sure to what he knows would be the best way to like how do you dispose of any of the fish guts or any of that kind of stuff. How do you get rid of your burnt fire items, all of that kind of thing, to not leave a footprint. So Nick actually buries the fish guts over where the garden used to be, and he like turns the soil and puts it in there and whatnot. So, and you guys rest. I'm assuming you throw up your tent somewhere, throw out all your camping stuff, sleep, get up in the morning, tear it down, relax, enjoy the time, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else that night or that evening that you'd like to do? Emily does come back, by the way.
I will approach her and ask a question.
Okay.
Emily, may I ask? I know what
And
little I
she's not
know of.
alone. There is another dryad with her.
Oh, okay. Hello
She
to the other one
she
I've
nods
not
and
met.
says hello to you.
Um,
And Emily just says, "This is my sister," and that's all she really says. She seems very shy and not.
nice to meet you. Um, Admittedly, our time here is short if we're going to be heading off soon. And I know, admittedly, very little about the Fey folk like yourself, but I know what little I know dryads are typically tied to a tree or something, some sort of feature like that, and can't go too terribly far away. But I was wondering, since I have these wings, if you wanted, as long as I stay close to whatever area you need me to stay close to, if you'd be interested in going for a little flight.
Um, she says, "Sure."
Okay.
She says, "It's more the height that that matters right now." And
Okay.
she turns and she says, "I'm gonna say, how long does your comprehend languages last? Is it like hours?"
No, I think it's more like
Okay, so she says something to the tree, and the tree says something back, and she says,
258.
"Sure, certainly."
Okay.
And she looks
Comprehend
at her
languages
sister and
is
she says, "I will be back in a little while."
it's normally 10 minutes a level, so it'll last for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, so it's long gone. So you don't know what she exchanges with the tree and back, and you
Sure.
don't really know what her exchanges with her sister. But yes, she takes your hand.
Okay. And I will politely sort of scoop her up and fly up and around a little bit, but not going
Okay.
too high past the trees.
She says she'll let you know when you've gone too far,
Fair enough.
and it's pretty hard to go too far
That's fair.
because one of the tallest trees here, well, no, the tallest tree here is her tree.
Gotcha.
And if you move that way or that way or that way or that way, the tree will just move with you.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
And
That's fair.
Matt, you and Nick, you actually see the big tree. It can move, and it's not slow.
Ooh,
And it
cool.
actually leaves through the forest, and you're guessing it's following wherever Brian is flying to. And that's
I
when
mean, I don't have a.
you all kind of put two and two together that the awakened tree that can move is her tree she's bound to.
Mm. So it's moving to keep her within range.
Correct.
But yeah, I'll do a couple of fly loop-de-loops or whatever as best I can. Admittedly, my strength is not super huge, but
Um, and you
some
do
might say average.
and you do know Nick does talk to the other dryad a little bit, and she does seem
Okay.
a little bit at ease, Matt,
Okay.
by the conversation she has with him. And he looks at you and says, "She doesn't speak a lot of common, or she doesn't
Mm.
speak our tongue very easily, but she has a tree nearby and she can't go. Hers isn't mobile.
Oh,
But her sister said that we will keep her safe while she is here, so we should stick around just in case any shenanigans does happen."
yeah, definitely.
Um, and you see as the evening progresses, while Brian is out for the flight, some of the other Fey folk they don't super hide. Like every once in a while, you find a couple that are like they rummage through where you put your fish guts, and they're like excited to find that there's something useful in the fish guts, and they run off with it. You know, some of the oh, I forget, they're like the little gross mushroom guys that like basically garbage and filth. They are like the poop fairies of the world, essentially. They help with like decomposition of the forest and the undergrowth and stuff like that. I forget what they are, but yeah, they're like a little mushroom type fairy. Um, or maybe it's a pixie or something along those lines. And yeah, you see, it's just like probably the most live forest you've seen, and it's not live like dangerous, because a lot of times the fae and the fairies, they can get real creepy. This doesn't seem to be affected like the other places you've been that have fae creatures. There is just something nice about it and welcoming about it, and like it makes you feel like, all the stories about the researchers that go to Antarctica and the penguins don't know what a human is, so they don't know to be afraid of them.
Yep.
It's like that, except for kind of more of, if you're here, we know we're safe. We're not afraid of you. Like, we understand, but they also aren't like territorial to each other or to you or to anyone else. There's just like this overwhelming peace and balance of nature. Other than the fact that, like, there are predators in the forest, like wolves will hunt and bears will hunt, and there is the balance of the forest. But like, as far as the fae creatures go, like, they are part of that balance, and they're not super concerned, and they just they don't mind your presence, except for they are a little bit shy. So if there are any that you'd like to speak to or speak with or ask questions to of any types of fae, I can let you know if you run across any, and you can have those conversations.
I really do not.
Okay.
One, because the last memories I had were of a big fey baddie threatening to F my day and ruin my life.
That was kind of why I was telling you what the feel of this was, is because this is very much different than all of that. In
Yeah, I just
almost all of your fae encounters.
like to keep my distance.
Okay. So the evening progresses. Brian, you eventually come back. Is there anything you'd like to do, or anything while you're up there, or just sharing camaraderie?
I think ultimately just sharing camaraderie.
Okay.
I don't think.
She actually, when you get up there the second time, you actually see the forest for what it is.
Oh, okay.
It is not endless. You see the ocean to the north. Actually, here we'll see if I can remember how to. I'm gonna go here, and I think, let's see. Can I move you to another location? I'm just gonna move you all. Just gonna move you all. See here. Move party ribbon here. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently I can't. Why is it not moving? Go to that map. Go to the map. Go to the map. This is the map I
You
want
have
to be
to
on.
click. I think you just have to click on the map after you've moved the banner.
Yeah, as a GM, you got to click it.
I am. Click on map. Click on map. Click left click. Right click maybe? Left click. Right click.
Right click.
Click click click. Right click click. Nope.
You may just have to refresh Roll20. Oh, nope,
There we go. Now it did. Now it changed. So you guys, do you see where it says Raven Roost all the way up top?
Yeah.
So you see where the Tickwood is?
Yep.
And you see where Raven Roost is?
Mm-hmm.
You see that forest to the left of Raven Roost?
Mm-hmm.
That is where you are.
Oh, gotcha.
You are
Okay.
in that entire forest is what you see. You see the Raven Roost. You see the river. That is not the river that is running through that's on the little map. That's not the same river.
Gotcha.
Your river, actually, where this bend is right up here, your river eventually goes to there and drains into that river, and then eventually goes to Sandpoint, or where Sandpoint used to be.
Gotcha.
So if you follow the river, the big river down, you eventually connect to the road that goes to Bistance Pond, or you can cross over the main river if you can find a way across the main river, which you can fly. You can get to the main road that goes straight to Biston's Pond. And you can see from where you're at that this road isn't as well kept as it once was. The northern road, in fact, is probably a better, more like it's a road, but it is also kind of under disrepair because of some reason. I don't think you guys are aware of what happened with Sandpoint. So you guys know you could just go to Sandpoint. That is west of here. That will be your closest area, and it is a major place of shipping. So you probably could get a ship out of Sandpoint. And if you choose to do that, I will fast forward to the results of that, so that you don't have to roleplay through it all. Because out of character, you guys know what happened to Sandpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, otherwise they said someone from Biston's Pond comes
We'll
up
be here
here every
tomorrow,
couple of
yes.
days.
They will be here in the morning.
Okay.
And they mentioned that because they know you're not going to Sandpoint, because why would you? It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that.
Sure.
But yeah, that is the forest that it is in. And Biston's Pond is right down in the bottom right. You can actually see Biston's Pond.
Right. No, I don't know. What do you? I mean, honestly,
I mean, I guess like we'd have to go to Sandpoint anyways to get on a boat.
Correct.
Oh, that's true.
So I mean, we just would make more. I mean, rather than going to Biston's Pond
And then
and then going all the way back up to Sandpoint, we should just, I guess, go to Sandpoint.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
you have your conversation. You make your decision the night before. I'm going to fast forward to the next morning.
Okay.
Because ultimately, that's when you guys will make your decision of whether you go to Sandpoint or not, based on more information that you will end up getting.
Right.
And I'm not going to change it back. I'm going to leave it on this map just for everybody's sake. You guys know what the other one looks like. So in the morning, you are waiting, and you hear like some humming and like almost singing noises. Brian, it really catches your attention because it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it's got a weird tonal quality. Like it's almost got like a hummingbird hum to it or vibe. It's like, it sounds like it's coming from, like it doesn't necessarily sound human, but it's really kind of cool and unique in its vocal properties.
You know what? I'm a bard. I'll sing some harmony or hum some harmony with
Okay.
it.
And you're in your tent. You're in your guys' like big tent. And it's outside around the cabin area.
Okay. So when I get up for the morning to do the morning pee,
Okay.
the 39 was my performance.
So you go out and you're performing, and you're like, let me roll. I want to roll. Can I roll? Let me roll some dice here. Do.
Roll the die.
Roll the die. Where is it? Do. That's not it. Maybe that is it. Nope, that's not it. Oh, come on. I just had it in my hand like right before we started. Oh, that's because I'm looking in the wrong folder. That's why. There it is. So it gets a 34 wherever it's coming from. So
Nice.
almost right on par with you as far as singing goes. And like you guys makes like it starts to attract others in the forest as you're getting ready. And Matt, you hear it. It wakes you up. It wakes you and Nick up to this like, okay, that's Brian, but whoever he's with, that is like they're doing some very epic shit right now. Off of the cuff, off the cuff.
Oh.
However, Brian, you realize you don't know where it's coming from. Like it looks like it's coming from the house, but like not inside the house, maybe on the porch somewhere.
At first, I'm gonna smile, thinking that's kind of cool, and then I'm like, "Oh God, is this like my Disney princess moment, where or like the anti-Disney princess moment, where something bad's gonna happen to me?" So I'll continue singing, but maybe slightly more cautiously approach the porch to kind of see what I can
Okay. Matt, what
see.
do you do when you hear the music coming from Brian and something else? You also you have high enough skills, and with your bonus ability, like whatever it is, you're sure isn't human, whatever it is.
Um, I want to give Brian his Disney princess moment. So I'm gonna pull out my hand harp and just start playing a subtle melody to go along with the two people singing.
Go ahead and roll your
Um,
perform skill with your hand harp.
oh yeah, look at this amazing number. Like blink, 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 blink.
As soon as you start, you realize you are ruining the moment. Like you realize you are ruining the moment.
Yeah, I rolled a fucking 3. That was terrible.
And Nick looks at you and goes, I don't know why you have that. Like, don't you remember you're tone deaf?
And then I look and then I strum it and I make the mug of beer appear in front of me. And I'm like, this is why I have it. And then I'll like drink my beer, listening to the two
And like
35
Brian,
and
you hear that?
39 bards.
Brian, you hear the plink, 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 and you're like, oh. And like whatever else is singing, like pauses for a moment as well, like almost like you do. Like the two of you almost stop, like, what the fuck? And then you hear it kind of stops, and then you continue.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And Nick just goes over and like peeks out the tent, and like the cat's like underneath him peeking out the tent to watch, but he only sees like your backside as you're slowly approaching the porch. Go ahead and roll your perception.
But my perception's not great. What do I have? Oh, yeah. Not completely horrible. 17.
You realize whatever it is, it's coming from like the eaves of the porch, like up in the eaves itself of the porch. Like they're not
Okay.
really rafters, but they're more like the supports of the roof of the porch. And it's
Sure.
coming from up there. So whatever it is, it can't be super big, or it's like it's gonna pounce down and drop on you after you get into the porch. One of the two. Or both.
But hello.
So you stop singing
Yeah.
to talk,
Yeah.
and it stops. And it goes, you're awake. And you see down from up there, it's about the size of a house cat.
Okay.
And it's got like you all like for a second you are like it's a purple one of whatever Matt has for a pet, except for it's got wings, but it's also got like an over the shoulder like mailbag, and it's got like rings, and it's got like some art like a few like a necklace, and it's got like a little piercing in its ear, and you realize it looks like like it's not a house drake, but it's more like a variation of the Corvosan house drake. You're thinking that
Okay.
this is probably like the pseudo dragons of Biston's Pond, and that's when you're like, oh, it is a pseudo dragon that's like in
Oh,
Biston's Pond.
yeah. Oh, hello, friend.
He's like,
Uh,
hello there, I recognize you.
do I recognize the little one?
Roll a wisdom check with a +3.
Well, all right.
Do you get a Bardic's bonus to knowledge?
I do. I get to add half my scald level
Go
normally.
ahead and add half your scald level.
Can I also take a 10? Because I can technically take a 10 on knowledge check.
Yeah, sure.
In which case, then I would have 18.
Yeah, you recognize this. He is actually kind of the patriarch of the pseudo dragon and house drakes group in Biston's Pond. He's like the one that started it all.
Oh, right.
And he is kind of like a bard. He's kind of like, he used to be an adventurer, but he's a pseudo dragon.
Right. Brian is totally blanking on his name right now.
His name is Whimsy.
Whimsy. Okay, I was thinking, yeah.
And he's like, I'm just
You're-
coming to
you're-
drop off the mail. But I was told that you guys needed a guide back, so I didn't realize it was you guys.
Well, yeah, we just happened to help Maractus out with some sort of big whoop-de-doo in the Sarkoris area.
Great, I hope
And
he's
then,
doing well. I miss him. I haven't seen my friend in a long time.
Well, we did. He's doing well.
We always like just miss each other.
Ah, gotcha. Well, admittedly, he had to stay behind to help with. He was helping to organize things after the battle, but
He was doing wizardy stuff.
yeah, like he does.
That's okay. It's understandable. The world is a big place, and he's got more to deal with than just Sandpoint these days.
Very true. But we definitely wanted to come back and I guess take a look at things, and we were admittedly originally thinking of
Thank you for the follow over on Kick.
Thank you. We were thinking of maybe heading to Biston's Pond, or maybe looking to. Ultimately, we're trying to head back down. Are we trying to head back down to Andoran, guys?
Yeah, I think Andoran and then Thrushmore. Like
Ustalov. It's not. You don't have. It's not Thrushmore. You got to go to, right? Or were you going to stop there eventually, on the way? You guys
well,
gotta
I
go
think
to-
it depends on how we get there. That's like one of the
Yeah.
one of the cities.
Eventually, your goal, your request has been for. You've been requested to go to Kyrian Hill,
And that's in Ustalav,
and that's
which
in
is
Ustalav,
overland.
which is
That's
northwest
not
of
a.
northwest of Thrushmore. So depending
you
on
can
how
take
you
the
get
road. So Thrushmore is the port city on Lake Incartha, and there's a road that goes. So if we get there
Up
via
and over.
water, we'll probably be going through Thrushmore and taking the road up.
Right.
Okay. So then we were just trying to get someplace to get like a teleport over there. Then is that what we were trying to do?
Or a boat or like something. Well, I put it this way. I don't want it like I know Mordok says the problem's fixed. I still don't want to teleport into Thrushmore.
Right.
Like
Because that's where we went into the plane of fire. Because that's his place, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck teleporting there.
He's like, well, you might be able to find someone to do it in. Well, you guys probably still call it Biston's Pond. That's probably your best bet, since there's no ports in this area.
There's no ports.
Pathfinders.
What about Sandpoint? Or did?
Oh, Sandpoint hasn't been there for like a year.
Oh.
Sandpoint got wiped out. Well,
Oh,
it didn't get
no.
wiped out. It just disappeared.
Oh.
It's like this weird stony hexagonal rock formation, and that's all that's left, and that was never there before. It's almost like it got picked up and dropped off something else. Like It's weird.
Huh.
But I guess everything's okay. Maractus said he wasn't too concerned about it right now.
Hmm.
Well, if he's not concerned about it, then I guess we definitely don't
I'm
have to
sure
be.
that all of the people are concerned, but it didn't seem to
Yeah.
register high on his need to investigate situation, which kind of is strange considering, he spent most of his life going there.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, then I guess maybe, guys, we'll head to Bistons.
Yeah. I, kind of glad we didn't leave last night. We walked a couple miles for nothing.
Out of character, do you guys have a permanent residence in Sandpoint as well? I believed you did.
No.
In Sandpoint?
Or
No.
not in Sandpoint, in Biston's Pond, in Biston's Pond.
I mean, we made a lot of friends and gained a lot of friendship with the locals. I don't know if we actually had a domicile though.
Yeah, let me check
I was
my.
pretty sure that they considered
I
you
think
guys
we were
citizens of the town.
I think we were staying at the lodge.
You were staying at the Pathfinder Lodge. That is correct. That's right. Yep, I do.
At
That is
least
correct.
for most of our time there, we were
Yep,
staying
you
at
were
the
at the
lodge.
lodge. That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, okay, well, whenever you guys pack up, we can go.
All right, well,
Perfect.
pack her up.
Sounds good. So you guys pack up, get all your stuff packed up, and you start to make your way there. He normally wouldn't take the road because he is small and he flies. However,
Yeah.
he knows how to go a path that will work for you guys. And he does take the northern road because it is quicker than taking the southern road and going across the river. He goes, unless you guys have one of those collapsible portable summoning boats, then taking the river would be really easy.
Can't say that we do.
Let me look at all my gear. Um,
Yeah, I don't think I do.
He goes, well, it's a gamble. The north road is faster, but the southern road has a chance of finding transportation along the river that will get you there, depending on the time of day and what the loggers are doing. And he goes, depending on the time of day, and he leans in, he goes, what the loggers are doing, because he doesn't want to whisper the loggers in the woods here.
If we were able to travel by the river, how long do you think it would take?
It would probably be an extra day, half a day, if we don't find a boat. Otherwise, it'd be quicker.
Well,
because I think it's 3 days. It was 3 days from Sandpoints to Biston's Pond, along the river road.
So we can summon 6 hippocampi that have swim speed.
Yeah, that's right.
Of the lesser horn of the Tritons.
How long do they last?
I just don't know how fast they go.
Good
But
point.
if we're in the river and can that might mean we don't have to worry about finding transport.
Yeah, and Nick's not worried because he can get a swim speed. Although it's not a 30. Walking is faster than his swim speed would be, but
the seahorses things that might be faster.
hippocampuses move at, let us see here.
They're water horses.
They are water horses.
They probably move way faster than boats do.
They have a swim speed of 60 feet. So they move twice as fast as humans.
Good call, Matt. We should just do that.
He goes,
they could probably make some good time.
Okay. Sounds good. Matt, it was your idea. Give me an even or odd. Which would you like?
Even.
Even is good?
Even is good.
14. Even is good. All right. So you guys move south directly south. You hit the river. You summon the hippocampi. I don't remember how long they last, but we'll say anytime that they don't, then you just go on shore and walk,
Yeah.
and then you get back on them for however long they last. I mean, we can just look, I guess. Horn of the Triton.
They last for 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah, that's a good chunk of time. And you are going against the current, and you do run across where the logging is, and there's not so much logs in the river that it impedes your movement.
Cool.
And you do run across the loggers that, you know, because they have a boat that will sometimes, if they get behind on the riverways. Oh, actually, this is the wrong location. Actually, there are no loggers here. The loggers have all moved. They don't log the tickwood anymore because there's no sand point.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
So there is no
But
logging.
probably more doing the mosswood.
Yeah, they do the mosswood now. So yeah, you run across no loggers at all, no issues along the way, and you get there fairly quickly. Nothing
All right.
Nothing interesting happens along the way. You do realize that the road, that path, is getting fairly overgrown. There's not a lot of traffic that goes there anymore.
I
because
suppose
there is
there's
no
no
sand
sand point.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no sand point. There's nobody that really lives along that road. Although it is still really cool to see the juxtaposition of the nature and the tickwood forest and the land there on the north side compared to the barren, like, white salt flats of the Devil's Platter. It's really cool. It's like, it's literally the river splits the way.
Cool.
And every day, Nick summons the cat because you guys outpace the cat, and the cat can't ride a hippocampus. But Nick just uses his thing at the end of the day to summon the cat to him. So
makes sense.
Sure.
And yeah, you guys end up at Biston's Pond. Now, Biston's Pond it's been a year since you've been here. Maybe more.
Yeah. Because we had went down to the Mwangi and then up and then all over, and yeah.
Yes.
It's been a long time since we've been back.
Oh, cool.
I got to get on the right layer. The map got moved a little bit.
I hate when that happens, especially if you don't realize you're on the wrong layer, then you hit like an arrow and everything shifts.
Right.
And...
Very cool.
So you end up at Biston's Pond, except for when you're entering it, you actually see a makeshift sign outside of the town when you come in. And you come in on this far right end area, and you see a giant, like, grouping of buildings on the left. Now, you remember there used to be a small windmill over on this side of the bridge, but there really wasn't anything else. In fact, there was a cursed windmill that you guys cleared out that was here. That windmill is gone, and now this giant structure,
And sorry, did you say on the right-hand side?
on the bottom right-hand side, yep.
Oh, that thing. Okay, gotcha.
You see all of these buildings, and that was not there at all. If anything, there might have been like some foundation stuff that might have been being put down or dug, but now you see this massive, in some places 3, 4, even 5 stories high in certain areas of a building.
Wow.
At the walkway right before that happens, right here by this tree, there is a sign that is still kind of in the processes of being worked. If you go over to your handouts page, I think I have it on the handouts. I don't know. Can I like?
You can click them and like share them with us, and then we'll put it into our handout
go.
section.
Share 2 players. Did that pop up?
Yep.
Yeah.
You see a thing. It's a coat of arms in works. It is the city's coat of arms.
That's very cool.
That's very cool.
And you see specifically underneath it, the name of the city is not there. It does not say Biston's Pond.
Hmm.
And you see um, this particular building on your left is quite busy, in fact. There are a lot of people there, a lot of
You
kids.
ping the one that's busy? Okay.
Right when you come into town. And you hear a lot of voices and stuff on the other side of the building, but you really can't see. So there's like a stall here for like with horses. There's like a cart here. And as you walk by, there is actually a sign right here in the front of the building. And you realize that this is a university for magic.
Oh, cool.
And it is fairly large. Like it's not Corvosa University large, but they probably have the numbers to be substantial in the country. Like it might be one of the top 5 in size in the country.
Wow.
This is almost the same size as the Bardic School in Andoran that you guys saw.
Very cool. Very cool indeed.
Do you guys do anything, or do you guys just continue on into the first bridge?
Yeah, I think continue on because I want to check in with the Pathfinders first.
Okay. Across the river over here, you can see all the boats. This all pretty much looks the same. You know, Nick would often go fishing over here with the villagers and hang out over here. You can see the big, like this is the Church of Gazre with the big orange tree. You can see the leaves are starting to fall off of all the bushes that have been turned into a wall. If you recall, that like all the individual branches kind of grew into each other and became like a natural wall on there. And you can hear the wind blow through the trees. It kind of whistles when the wind picks up. And it's right on the water, and the water actually goes into the tree. And so it kind of captures that aspect of the winds and the waves, the dual aspects of Gazra. It tries to capture both aspects. It's kind of designed that way, with a hint of nature built into it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just a question from the last time we were here.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, was this area in the upper right-hand side all tents at that point? Like, have they?
It was all tents at one point, and it is no longer tents. They now have houses that have been built. Not all of them are the same people, but yeah, the city has grown. That whole area is buildings and houses, and they actually have a small, as you and I'm just gonna kind of like you guys walk around the town and kind of look around as you look. This here is a little fighting training arena, because the guards that Han had trained are now training all of the guards in the area. And this is one of the main training areas for the region's guards.
Nice.
And the cavalry and whatnot not that moves around here. It looks almost like this has become almost the focal point of the hinterlands. As I mean, a lot of people have put a lot of focus on this town, and this town hasn't been hit by tragedy after tragedy other than the flood that happened that one time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a lot of these people are former members of the Rasmarin, the Angel Rasmarin of their like little sect. A lot of them just stayed behind. Now, this isn't like the Rasmarin area. A lot of them have moved on and done other things. Like that little thing has dispersed, but a lot of them have just stayed to live here.
Okay.
So they aren't part of the traveling group anymore.
Like it.
You also
And
see
this
that
is the magic tower,
that is
right?
the tower, correct. It was the only I had to make a. It's the closest I could get to the hexagonal shape of the
Yeah.
whatever.
That's fair.
Also, you notice that a lot of the up where the Rasmarins are and over in that area, you realize there's a lot of like people that look like they've seen a lot of battle that weren't part of that group. And a lot of them they look battle hardened, but they look like they're recovering from trauma, they're recovering from war, they're recovering from tragedy, they're recovering from being homeless in due to battle. Um, and just kind of looking at them, you realize a lot of them are probably like from what they're wearing, because a lot of them still wear badges of honor, and you realize a lot of them are people from what is now known as Sorcoris, formerly known as the World Wound. And a lot of Crusaders have just moved into this new burgeoning town because they were looking for a place that they could call their own, and this town accepted them fairly easily. Because of all the tragedies, this is kind of like a refugee town from its history of how it was formed. And so people that were going back home to their family in Sandpoint and found no Sandpoint and had no family just were Crusaders that just decided they'd stay here because they could help.
Very cool.
With that being said, you also see there's like kind of a building, like town square, that's like a lot of tents, a lot of traveling people that sell stuff. Anybody who passes through that is a merchant of sorts and there's not a shop for them to sell through to, they set up tents and they sell their wares, and then they move along. Maybe some of them stay, maybe some of the tents just have stayed there for a year or two. You do realize that some of these buildings down here, these bottom 4 buildings, well, this whole row down here, were all here before. So you've got the magic shop that sells like magical scrolls and magical items and potions and knickknacks, wares, clothes, food. You do see the stable house and the guys that you escorted up to Sandpoint and back, and one of them died, and you paid for their resurrection. Like those 2 are still here. They're still building stuff. It looks like they've got a lot more for building siege items. You actually see that there are siege items built throughout the town. Those were not there, and it looks like those siege weapons have seen major battle, probably within the last 6 months. And of course,
where
up
was
here is the
the?
Pathfinder Lodge.
Oh, that
And it does have
you
its own.
answered
It
my
has its own.
question.
Yep, it's got its own stables. It's got its own everything. So that's the Pathfinder Lodge, is right up there.
Yeah, I think just like it's cool to see the town developing and growing
Yep, and they've
and
got a
becoming
mill.
its own.
You'll see that they've got a mill where they can like grind corn and wheat and stuff, because the farmers are now coming here to sell and trade.
Because there's no other place.
Well, A, because there's no other place, and B, because this is where the guards are. Because if you recall, the original group that formed like this town and kind of started here and trained them, like there were no people protecting the farmlands, and they trained people and created an economy and a group where all of the surrounding areas would pitch in to help fund the guards that would protect all of the farmland and the
That would
local
patrol
area.
the farmland.
And they
Yeah.
trained all of them, and that has continued without those people. And that is that is part of the economy, is those guards and that traveling. And so the farmsteads have more surplus than they had before, because they don't have raids, they don't have goblin raids, they don't have damage. And so they take those extra crops here to sell, because they don't have any trade agreements with other people for those extra crops. And so that helps build this town. And any of that trade agreement that they do have still goes through this town. You find the Pathfinder Lodge, and you find the wonderful little gnome there with his blue and golden eagle crested outfit that he wears. He's sitting on a couch in the entryway, just reading a book, because he only really has to take care of the place and help any Pathfinders that come in. And it doesn't look like there's a couple Pathfinders, like you can see horses and stuff in the stables, but you don't see anybody in the building at the moment when you guys walk in.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of walk up and
Actually, I want to sort of sneak up a little bit and
Okay.
be like,
Yeah, Brian, you've partied
then-
with him more than anyone else.
and actually, I'm gonna try to sneak up on him and then like pick him up and put him on my shoulders.
All right. Yeah, he's like, his back is turned to the door, so when you guys walk in the double doors, like he's about to get up, but like he gets up and he sees Matt and Nick, but you've already scooted around the other way. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
I would be happy and delighted to. And hopefully I won't stink this up too much. Let's see.
Like, even for a moment, Matt, you and Nick are wondering when Brian's going to come in the door behind you, because he was right behind you. And the next thing you know, the gnome is lifted into the air, like hoist, like, woo! And on Brian's shoulders. And he's like, holy, what? He drops the book. What's going, what? Hey, what are you, who? Oh, you little. And he smacks you in the head, like upside the head. He's like, what brings you guys here? I haven't seen you in so long. And put me down.
It's been a while, my friend. It's been a while. And I give him a big hug.
Yeah, he gives you a hug. He walks over and shakes your hand, Matt. Kind of like a more friendly, like shakes your hand, but pulls you in and pats you on the elbow, because he can't really, you're not a gnome, so.
Yeah, I'll greet him in the gnomish greeting that I learned from the gnome pirate.
Okay. Well, and you had a book too.
Away.
Did you get a book from this guy?
No, I got a book from her.
Oh, okay.
That I was learning from.
He's like, oh my God,
That's when I left.
Look at that. That's awesome. He says in gnomish.
Thank you. I tried really hard to master this one.
He's like, your accent's pretty good too. He's like, where's the little kitty?
I learned from was very thick and also piratey.
Actually, no, he doesn't
say. R's.
He doesn't say where's the little kitty. He says, what did Nick have before he had the cat? Oh no, Nick didn't have a cat. He looks at Nick. He goes, you look different. Because remember, the whole time you were here, it was the doppelganger. And Nick's Nick's like, I don't think we've ever met before.
I don't remember. Did I have wings when I was in Biston's Pond? Because I feel I got the wings when I feel I got the wings when we were doing those pirate adventures.
Yeah, the pirate adventure was before this. And I'm trying to think, the Mwangi, because Nick reemerged with the Mwangi, so the Mwangi had to have been after this.
Yep, the Mwangi was after this.
So you left here to
and
do the
pirate stuff was also after this. Yeah, because that was after the Mwangi.
That is true, yeah.
So yeah.
So he's like, and you have wings? Are those magical? Did you have a ring? That's cool. Whatever it is. So many things have changed. And of course we've met, you idiot. He hits Nick in the shoulder. He's like, you had all that like weird sorcery magic. And Nick's like, I don't have any somebody was impersonating me for a while, so that must have happened while we were here.
Oh,
actually, no, Nick was here. Nick was here for part of that until the doppelganger took over.
Oh, that's right.
And you guys had to go save Nick. So yeah, Nick was here. So Nick has met him. So Nick's that.
It's all a blur.
And Nick then had time to retrain as a hunter because he was stuck in the forest running from the dinosaur.
Oh, hey, yeah, you know what? Because I had it written down, I'm going to reach into my bag of holding and pull out a T-Rex tooth and offer it to
It's like,
Lindell.
What is it? What is this thing? And he grabs it. You know, because even for us, a T-Rex tooth is like this.
It's freaking huge, yeah.
Right? And he's a gnome, so he's like, the hell is this?
That's a tooth of a creature referred to as the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's like, oh, well, is this for the lodge?
Sure.
He's like, all right. We're like, we don't get a lot of like artifacts here because we don't get a lot of that kind of support. Because the lodge was kind of, before the incident, the lodge was kind of like hush hush lodge. Now it's known, so we're starting to get more people here. And you guys know he's talking about like the group that was outlawed, and this
Mhm.
was the
Right.
lodge meant to protect them and help protect them.
I'm just trying to
Right.
figure, like, do I have anything cool that would be like awesome to give the lodge?
Like an
I
artifact.
really like that idea of giving them something from our trips.
Yeah, artifacts.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. I mean, I do, except they're like my Myriad bag that's like waterproof, which I don't want to get rid of,
Right,
or
right.
my soul tethered necklace, which I would super love to not get rid of.
Oh, Nick actually has some non-magical of those necklaces. You know, like just the ceremonial versions.
Oh yeah.
Like I just remember story-wise that he like wanted to have a few of them because he thought they were cool before you guys got the magical ones.
Right.
So yeah, Nick hands a couple of those over and like a little write-up of like what they are and what they represent,
Oh,
and how the like how the locals actually imbue them with magic to shape change into the animal of whatever the
mhm.
medallion is.
I'm gonna give them the map of the shackles that I made on the Cyclops Island.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
Golgorn thing.
yep, with that has like it's called the Bright Glass Island,
Mm-hmm.
and then like their story that we like copied down from the pictographs of the three-eyed Cyclops.
Yeah, cool.
Because like
If you
as
guys would
cool as
write that
that
down
is,
separately, because I'm going to put that in a file, a Biston's Pond file.
yeah, let me just like throw it in like the chat.
Yeah, or just throw it in the chat or in a document file. I think we have there was a file that had like these are the things that we gave to Biston's Pond that I did print out today.
We do have our old school 3 group gear sheet.
Oh yeah, just put it there.
Yeah, put it there.
And I think in addition to the gear, there's some other tabs. And I'm just clicking on one of the tabs and it says the Bryan Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and Who Want to Learn to Do Other Stuff Good Too. I don't remember what exactly that was from, but that makes me laugh.
That is funny. That is hilarious. Okay.
That's pretty good. Oh, random notes.
Yeah, just throw it in the group like and make another page.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing that, Matt, or do you want me to do that?
I'll do it for my stuff if you want to do it
Okay.
for your thing.
That's fair. You know, yeah, no, I think that's.
And the gnome goes, "Oh, while you're here, I've been put in charge. Hold on." And he runs. He's like, "You guys deserve it. You guys have been here for a while. I mean, the folks of town once in a while wonder if you're okay, if we've heard from you." He goes back. He's like, "You guys did a lot for this town. You should get a vote."
Hmm.
And he goes and
A
gets
vote
a
on-
couple. And he goes and gets a couple forms. And their forms, and he hands you each, and they're just little sheets of paper. And it's got a couple options, and it's got a line underneath it for you to sign. He's like, "This has been going on for the last month as people come and go on the guards until the guards have done one full rotation of the cycle. We're getting all the votes, and we're going to be counting them. And you guys are here during this cycle." So he hands them to you guys, and it says, you get to vote on the official name of the town.
I
And the
am
two options
fighting.
are it's either TON or TOWN. Otherwise, they're the same. It's either Millston or Milestown is the name that they're deciding on.
I'm fighting back every instinct to write Biston McBiston face.
That is that. There is no write-in spot. There's just those two options. You can put a check mark, and then you can, because they've already gotten this far. Like they've already collected names, so you're on like the final stage of voting.
I like
mean,
the first one,
You still
Milestone.
can. Okay.
I mean, I could still. Well, anyway.
He's like,
Uh,
they like, he goes, they've already, like, you're kind of late on the thing, but everybody's already put together the ideas and voted on what the crest of the town should be. And we've got artist renderings for it. You might have seen them when you came into town. And now we're still finalizing what the official name of the city is before we send it off to Magnamar and Corvosa for our official christening of being official city of Verzia.
nice. Yeah, I kind of like Milestown. That's fun.
Yeah, I think that's a great.
Town, TOWN? Or
Yeah, I
TON?
think so. I think TOWN.
Matt, you were the other
TON.
way? TON?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys fill out your forms. And he takes them. He's like, I will add them to the voting list. I'm in charge of all the votes because of my past. Because he's very political.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like he's
I was
not
like-
he's not a mayor or anything, but he's very much like things should be, because he's from Andoran, right?
Right.
So he's very much your votes matter and it should be taken care of, and like everybody's got equal rights and everybody should have a say and that kind of stuff. And he believes that you guys should have a say. And since he's in charge, you guys are getting a say. Even though you haven't been here the whole time to be able to put your 10 cents in, what you say now does count. So
Glad to have a
Cool.
say.
Cool.
excellent. So yeah, what else do you guys do while you are here? Is there anything else you want to talk to him about or ask him questions?
Yeah. Are there any of the Pathfinder wizards or I don't know other people that could maybe help us with expedient transport to somewhere in either Ustalav or like help us get a farther along the journey?
Because there was an adventuring party that came through a couple weeks ago, and I think they were headed west to they said that something had reinfested Foxglove Manor or something, that some people cleared it out a handful of years back, and they heard that there was stuff happening there and they were going to run back there to check it out, I guess. They were originally going to go to Sandpoint until they realized there was no Sandpoint, so
Yeah. Is there
and I think they had a wizard. Other than that, that's the last time we saw anyone. I mean, depending on what you want, you could go to the magic shop. He now owns the shop now. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, he owns the shop now. His name was
Who he?
Give me a second. Matini. Matini now owns the shop.
Matini.
Yeah. He's a small gnome who's always worked there. You guys have met him before. He used to do
Yes, he just went from being the worker to the owner.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
and probably still the worker.
And he goes, and he still takes commissions for Maractus. So if you have commissions in order, he still takes those commissions. And he just does it through him. But Maractus didn't want to be the owner, so he just gave it to him and told him it was his shop now.
Nice.
Because I believe Maractus got rid of leadership because it was not doing anything for him. So exclamation mark join to join the dungeons. But you're already in there.
Rah.
Yeah. I guess yeah, don't claw my door open.
Meow. See here, meow.
Do you the wizard school, do you know how powerful the teachers are?
And
Do
he
you
goes,
think we
oh
might be able
yeah.
to-
He's like, you could probably get one of the teachers to help you out.
Perfect. I think that might be our best bet.
Hell, the
So I don't have
headmaster
to wait
probably
around
could.
on
The headmaster
people?
stays in the tower now.
Oh,
Nick forgets what his fake name was because he doesn't want to go by the name Biston.
Uh,
Oh,
Eli.
right.
Eli, yeah. Matt, did you ever stat him? FYI.
Just the base stats that he had, because as we were gaining levels, he was losing them.
So if I build him, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, he's a wizard cleric with the archetype that his wizard and cleric stuff go up.
Okay.
Mystic Theurge.
Mystic Theurge. Oh, yes, Mystic Theurge goodness.
Do they get teleport?
Yeah, but I think he has to be like high level because he has the two classes.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. He's like, yeah, the headmaster probably can. The headmaster stays in the tower now. That's kind of his place, and it sounds, from what I understand, that's where all the teachers are going to be staying. If they are a teacher, they stay at the tower now, and that's like the a lot of the main people, like that's their thing. I don't really know. We still can't get in there. Nobody can still get in there, but for some reason, some of the wizards can. Well, they're not all wizards. Some of them are like sorcerers. I think they've got an oracle staying with them now.
oh, that's pretty impressive.
And like he uses like the terms we use out of the book because he's a Pathfinder, and the Pathfinders are all about
Yeah.
categorizing stuff. So like we're gonna say that the classes are the Pathfinder terms for the classes
I like that.
Sure.
because they like to categorize
That makes sense.
shit. She's like, yeah, and there's this one hot green girl that works there, and she teaches some of the younger classes, and she teaches like nature wizard magic, and she's hot.
Oh, interesting. I just quick did the math. He has to be level 12 and before he'll get teleport, so I'm not sure what level you want him to be.
He's probably going to be still higher level because
Okay.
he's the headmaster of the wizard school, so he'll probably
Yep.
be higher than 12th level.
Cool.
He'll probably be between like between 12 and 15, I'd say.
Cool. Yeah, I was concerned. I didn't remember if Mystic Theurge and you needed to be able to cast second level cleric and wizard, or if it was like third level cleric and wizard. And I'm like, shit, if it's third level, he'd have to be like in the high teens to get teleport. I'm like, son of a bee. So yeah, so I guess we like go up there and like thanks. I think I'll go check on him. I don't know if you guys want to go up, but I mean, because if he doesn't have it memmed or whatever, like it might be a day or two before he hopefully could send us.
Right.
3 people in chat, but 5 entered the dungeon. Yeah, you can use the little panel down below to enter the dungeon. You can just click the join button. Some people click the pop out on it and put it on a different screen, and they just have their mouse hovering over it, so they don't have to go back and forth. So you can just click that button.
That's what I do. Yeah, I'm finally writing the thing into our chat.
So yeah, just to let you know, Mystic Theurge says you have to cast second level Divine and Arcane as one of the prereqs.
Yeah, so that's why he'd have to be level 12 at a minimum.
Okay.
To then go up, but I mean, doable because that's at the bottom end of your range. So now we just hope.
Or if he was a bard. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, no, I know his levels. I knew what he was.
Right,
I just don't. But you know, like he could not have teleport learned. I mean, not everybody has it, especially if you like live in one place forever.
Yeah. So yeah, Nick says you check on that. I don't need to go talk to him, but I'm going to go catch up on all the fishermen that I used to go fishing with and hang out with while we were here. And maybe check in on the priest of Gazray.
Cool.
Because he also went fishing, so.
And honestly, I'm going to hang with Lindell and tell him all sorts of, just tell him everything that's happened since we were last here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll go with you, Matt. you end up going down there. Where is your? Oh, we haven't put you on there. That's okay. We don't need to put the minis on there. So you go down on the map and you go to the front door. I'm assuming you just walk in.
I does it look like it's like a walk-in type situation or like a knock type situation? Like, is there any signage or anything?
Yeah, there's a
Or
sign, and that is the main entrance. Like the public main entrance for people is right there on that
okay,
roadway.
okay. Oh yeah, then I'll just walk in. If it
It's
looks
like
like
the
it's like a
front of
standard
it's like the
public
front of the
entrance.
school or of the college. So yeah, you walk in and there's like an administration area and like a front desk office, like a front desk clerk, and yeah, it's like a little halfling sitting on a stool.
Okay. Like, excuse me, I'm wondering if I could speak with the headmaster, Eli, or perhaps if there's any other wizards or sorcerers that may have the ability to cast teleportation magic. Well, in fact, like teleport.
She's like, "Do you have an appointment with Eli?"
No, I was wondering like if I need to set one up or like how can I set
Yeah,
one up? Like,
we could probably set you up to meet with him, and then he could figure help you out with who does. I don't know what spells people have. We're currently doing enrollment, and he's been doing a lot of moving around to different cities to try and promote and get new students.
ooh, well, maybe if
But
he's
he is in town, so
yeah, maybe if he's going to another town, it at least it can help us farther on our journey, and he's going somewhere where we need to go, or at least near a major waterway.
it's like, all
We
right,
Um,
I
could even
have.
make some donations to the school too.
you know,
That
So
might entice.
he currently is available tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and he's got another one after lunch, afternoon sometime.
tomorrow at 10's fine. That's good.
Okay. She writes it down.
The
She's
name's
like,
Matt.
and your name?
Matt.
She writes it down. It's like, all right, I will have him just try and be here a little bit early and we'll get you to a meeting room with him.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I guess one other question while I'm here. Does the school like buy things like wands or scrolls?
They work through
Things like that?
Matini
Okay.
in the town, and anything that they do through him. They do get supplies elsewhere as well, but a lot of the stuff they get through him. He has a lot of connections through some of the other towns, and he has a brother in both Magnamar and Corvosa, and so he does a lot of conversations with them, especially now that he now has access to some of the more powerful magical items in Verzia, even though sometimes
That
it
makes
takes some
sense.
time to get.
Perfect. Well, I will be back tomorrow before 10.
Okay, sounds good. Would you like a tour of the school?
Sure. It wasn't here the last time I was here. It was a windmill
Oh
and
yeah.
a Hagen in the basement.
She goes, yeah, there were 3 adventurers that cleared out the. And she pauses and she looks,
I just smile really big.
and then she looks over because there's a display that shows the 3 of you as the people that cleared out the windmill that made this school possible. And it's just a drawing, so it's not like super familiar, but it's familiar enough because she sees it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it says their names. And she's like, oh, well, why didn't you say it was you? She's like, I'll bring you to
Sometimes
headmaster.
you don't need to
I'll bring
floss.
you to the headmaster right now.
Oh, no need. I can wait my turn.
No, he's just eating and reading.
Oh,
This
well
is
then.
just his downtime, but he'll want to see you.
Oh, then. Yes, I would love that.
And then she starts taking you through the school. And you actually like in one of the other buildings is like, or in the far bottom area, there's like a cafeteria and a food area. And there's like a little side room for like the teachers or the people like that's private away from everyone.
Yeah, like the teacher's lounge.
Kind of, yeah. The faculty area. And she kind of walks in there and is like, Mr. whatever his headmaster, whatever his last name would be.
I never gave him one.
You didn't. She just goes, headmaster? Uh, headmaster? And he looks up, he's like, yes. And he's like, oh. And he sees you and he stands up. He's like, huh, you're
Wait,
back in town. Are all of you here or is it just you? And he walks over and shakes your
all of
hand.
us are here. Yes, I'll give him a hug back and be like, yeah, we're all here. We're actually trying to make our way up to uh, uh, Ustalav by way of either ship or whatever. We were thinking that we could have gotten on a boat in Sandpoint, but there apparently is no more Sandpoint, and walking to Magnamar is kind of a pain. So I
Yes,
was wondering
terrible
if there was
tragedy.
somebody um, that we could pay to get teleported closer, or if somebody was going away to kind of like hitch a ride, or even if like even to a place that we could get a boat. We just are trying to get back up to Ustalav for some business.
We should get you. Where do you need to go?
Um, I don't remember in Ustalav where we needed to go. Oh, sorry, Carrion Hill.
All right.
To Carrion Hill. So, in the barony of oh, that's wherever Thrushmore is. I don't remember the name of the barony or the duchy, but the city that we're trying to get to is Carrion Hill.
Like that should be doable.
Oh, that would be great.
And not today, mind you. Probably won't be
Yeah,
till at
yeah,
least
that
tomorrow.
is.
I have some other things I need to do, but I should be able to get you there. It might take
Oh,
it might also take two castings. Versex is the
County Versex. Okay.
county Versex.
Yeah, that. I mean, I I hate to be a bother, but like even getting us close would be fine if you
No, not a
if you
bother at
can't
all.
spare
In
the man.
fact, Carrion Hill might be a good place for me to visit. I'm promoting the school and to the nobles of the area. You don't happen to know any nobles in Carrion Hill, do you?
I don't remember. Did we meet Higgery?
Uh, Riley's the one inviting you, and he's the main hero that's marrying Hegri's daughter.
True, but there's a difference between me knowing the person marrying the mayor's daughter and me knowing the mayor.
You do not know the mayor. In fact, you
Okay.
actually you not only do you not know the mayor, but you don't know who the mayor is. You don't know who runs it. From your understanding, the guy's wife runs the town.
Okay.
Like
Um,
like like Riley's future wife is in charge of the town.
okay. So I do know that part.
Yeah.
Um, well, I know hard to explain. Like, you know how there's like some towns that are run by like a mayor or a knight or whatever, but like they're never there, and it's like other people are actually running the stuff.
Yes.
So the person that I am working for is getting married to the woman that is actually runs everything. I don't know what her title is. I don't know, like, I don't know how political that works, but at least it would be a contact.
Well, I could at least talk to your employer
Yes, that you definitely could.
if you would be so kind as we'll consider it the payment for the teleport.
Oh, perfect.
He nods.
Thank you. That is greatly helpful. I was worried we'd have to do a lot of trudging.
Usually you pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
That's right. You usually do have to pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
Well,
Cotton.
it does make sense. You'd have to pay double for two teleports.
That's true. That's true. If it requires two teleports.
Um, yeah,
I don't know, and I'm not going to math it, so I'm going to just
yeah,
wave the wand and say it either takes one or it takes two, and either way you'll be able to get there.
cool.
Because he
Um,
does not have greater teleport.
um, yeah, like I'll sit and like make some small talk. I would still love to have like the tour of the
Yeah.
school.
So he personally will give you the tour of the school.
Cool.
So he explains to you that the concept that he and Maractus had for a school was that not everybody knows what type of magic they get growing up. In fact, the young girl that used to live in this town didn't know what kind of magic she was going to have. And the idea is that you could learn the concepts of different kinds of magic and find out what is attuned to you. Because if you are an inbound sorcerer and your parents force you into a wizard school, you're going to be a shitty wizard.
Mm-hmm.
If you have magic from a divine being, you're going to be a really shitty sorcerer.
Yep.
And so the idea is to get people from multiple different facets of magic casting to teach the different types of magic. And one of the early classes is just learning what a cleric is, what an oracle is, what a witch is, what a mystic thurge is, what some of the subtypes of some of them are, and then they can choose to elect whether they want to learn more about what a wizard is. And so they learn that at a very young age while learning the basics of how somatic components and thematic components work. And he's explaining all of this, that like the thing that binds all magic together, you learn all of the bases of that at a young age before you can actually cast magic.
Mm-hmm.
And if people
like
come
that.
in with magic, they can be tested into certain classes or at a certain rank. And so the idea
Make
will
sure they're
be
doing what they need to do.
yeah.
Or
So if you
good
come in,
training.
you want to sign up to the school and you're already a first level wizard, you know, or you come in and you already know you come in and you can cast cantrips, wizard cantrips out of a book, then you're probably good enough to understand how some of the stuff works. They'll do some of the basics, but you'll go right into the wizard section of the school.
Very good.
And so they have different teachers for basically they'll have they can't get a teacher for every class, right? You know, but a wizard can still teach a sorcerer how to cast spells as long as the wizard understands how sorcerers work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very much like Maractus would easily be able to explain to a sorcerer how to be a sorcerer, or even a bard. And he says that any of the townsfolk that have knowledge of magic are putting together curriculum to be able to teach a class or two should they need. So the cleric that lives in the church, he teaches a lot of the clerical classes, the beginner clerical classes for clerics, because he is open to other religions. So stuff like that. Bardic magic is actually taught. He's like, we actually have one of our local pseudo dragons in town here actually teaches the bardic classes.
That is amazing.
And it also gives an opening to understanding different races and whatnot as well. And he leans over to you, Matt, and he goes, the best part is because the pseudo dragon population has grown so strong here from Sandpoint, it makes a great place to gather familiars.
Oh, I bet.
In fact, if you go to school here and you get a familiar, there is a chance that you can get the bonus familiar for free if you take pseudo dragon. Like you could get the feat for free by taking a class here. Like the bonus of the school is if you take a familiar, you can just get a pseudo dragon without paying for the feat. But it's going to be one of the hybrid pseudo dragons, like a hybrid between house drake and pseudo dragon. So it's like on the level a little bit not as powerful, but yeah.
Well, I think this is perhaps then the best place. I was keeping this around well, at one point I thought maybe try to learn some wizardly magic, but I tend to question a lot of things, and magic came to me that way. But I pull out of my bag of holding my Tome of the Transmuter.
Ooh.
It is a spell book that has first, second, third, and fourth level spells. About, of course, transmutation magic. And I will just present it to him.
He's like, you're just donating it to the school?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This will mean a lot to a lot of upcoming students.
Yeah, it has a lot of, like mage armor, magic missile, to even bigger things like the ability to turn into an animal, or and I'll like kind of look around. I'm like, lightning bolt just in case, the town gets attacked.
Yeah, that would be really good.
And that's another thing I can cross off my sheet.
he he looks at you and he goes, let's go talk to Thistle real quick.
Oh, sure.
He's like walking around and he goes outside to where you see like he walks across the ground and you can see where like this open area is that looks like it looks on your thing, it looks like a pool of water. And it is a pool of water, but you can also see like it glows a little bit and it's meant for like portal magic. Like it's intended to help as a focus. And they've got like a little arena sparring pit, magic pit down here for you to like to work on earth magic, fighting magic, stuff like that. There's also a building that's still being built. And you see a little tomb, a little like tower structure building over here as well. And out there in the courtyard, you see a gorgeous woman with very like green skin, green hair. You can go ahead and make a knowledge. I think it's still a knowledge nature check.
So I will just take a 10 and add my d6.
And she is like teaching magic to a bunch of kids.
You said nature?
Yes.
27.
You realize that she is a Golgoran, and they are like a plant, person. Very much like if a human being was made out of a watermelon.
Okay.
And she looks very much like that, and she is very attractive, and she is teaching a bunch of kids what you're guessing based on your knowledge is some sort of wizard magic. And as you approach, you hear her talking about the natural aspects of how druids weave their magic and how wizards weave their magic, and that there is a way to use both of them as a wizard. But it is a almost completely lost school of magic that she has learned and been taught by one of the few who know it left in this world.
Question, this being a wizard school, since I'm carrying around like
it's a magic school
or as a magic school, me wearing like my heavier armor and shield and stuff kind of, I'm assuming, stands out a little bit.
No, because
cool.
Clerics wear armor as well, and paladins wear armor as well.
And there might be a magus
and
or something.
Maguses wear armor as well.
I just didn't want to, like, I was going to use the glamour to change it if I thought it could like distract the students. So that's why. But if it wouldn't, then I'm just leave it as armor.
Nope, it will not. So you approach, and she's like, she sees the headmaster coming over with you, and she's like, "All right, keep reading here. This will talk about how some of the magics. There is a spell called Beast Form, and how it will affect you, and how you need to control it." And she walks over, and says hello. She's like, "What can I do for you, headmaster?" And he's like, "You may not recognize him, but this is one of the members of the clearing." And she goes, "Oh." And she looks over. She's like, "You must be Matt."
Yes. And I'm like, clearing. Like, was the picture titled like something of the clearing? Like,
yeah, it's called the Men of the Clearing. They like the people who cleared out the haunted thing that like haunted this area of the land. You guys cleared it out, so they call it the Clearing.
The Clearing, cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And I'm be like, transmutation magic. I just overheard you talking about the ability to turn into beasts.
Yes, it is one of the things that I teach our students, the ones that are curious on learning the combinations of wizard and druid magic.
One of my favorite items came from the Mwange. Allows me to turn into a raven for a minute or so a day.
Did you get to see the wizard school while you were there? I've only been there once.
No. Unfortunately, it was dealing with mosquitoes, crocodiles, Tyrannosaurus rexes, and undead.
There are not many students that come out of there anymore, as the school headmaster isn't there as much. She kind of looks. She's like, but um, my master brought me there once and showed me the place and introduced me to the man that founded our style of magic.
Is that a pilgrimage you think that maybe the more advanced students might be able to take
If they get
as
powerful
time
enough, they
goes by?
more certainly can.
But not like I don't know if they have. Where I came from, we had things called field trips, where you would go to places of importance based on what you were studying.
Ah,
Maybe a trip out to the school for those that are graduating.
do you
And
take
I
trips?
look at the headmaster.
I go. Do you take trips to your other schools from your school to learn about that school?
Well, I guess, yes, I visited many colleges when I was deciding where to go to.
Oh, but after you
Like,
decided where you go, did you go to other colleges?
only for sporting events.
Ah, it's a fascinating idea. And of course, it is a much bigger school than here. So if they'd be willing to teach some of our students when we go there, that is a good idea. But I don't really know them well enough to broach that
Uh,
subject. And she looks over uh, at the guy
Elias.
at Elias. Thank you. Looks over at Elias, and he's like, I am not fortunate enough to know headmaster. Well, he just calls him master. Um,
Mm,
master. I am nowhere near the place to be friends with Master Jatumbe. It's like you would have to.
maybe.
And he goes. You would have to talk to your master about facilitating that.
Well, always a thought. Or maybe having some of them come here to teach a little bit.
She nods.
An educator exchange program, so to speak.
Yes. We are hopeful to get people from all over the world eventually, but we're just a small school now as far as things go. And thank you for that follow over on Kick. Let's see if we're gonna get a third bot or a real person.
Hmm.
But welcome on in. Doing some tabletop role playing. But yeah, you see all of the different buildings. There's still ones being built. They're still working on stuff. Some of them are like some of the buildings are housing. Some of the buildings are for like specific types of magic or specific schools. This one here is more for divine type magic because it looks similar to a temple. In fact, it's got etchings and carvings in stone that represent all of the different neutral and good deities. So that it can be used kind of in a divine manner if people are religious of any sort.
Okay. Is this kind of like towards like the end of the tour, basically,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
um,
Like I've left out a lot of stuff, but you can
yep.
figure out based on the explanation of how the school is designed what kind of shit you've seen, which is a
Cool.
little bit of everything.
I think then
And he does
I
explain that he has a partnership with the guards training area for people that are of the crossover martial and magic class, so that the martial, so like if you're a magus, like you can still hone your physical skills in the combat. So they have a partnership with the melee people that are doing the guard training up north, so that those people can still keep practice with their swords and weapons in, but also they also can either help train or help be trained if need be, depending on their level of learning.
like that. Can I use the church to do some prayers? It's been a while since I've been to anything remotely dedicated to the inheritor.
She nods and he says, "I will speak with you later. If you need me, you can just come in." The front desk lady probably will recognize you immediately now, and she'll keep an eye out for the others if they show up as well.
Oh, when should we be by tomorrow to go to Ustalav?
Come in the evening. I have some other errands I need to run throughout the day.
Perfect. Well, I will see you tomorrow evening if I don't see you before then.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And he turns and leaves, and she goes back to tea. She's like, "If you need anything, feel free to ask." And she takes the thing that he gave her, and she sits down to kind of mull it over while the kids practice, because most of them are fairly young. They're all probably like 9-10 years old.
And as she starts to look at him, like, make sure to look at the notes at the back of the book.
It's like, oh, okay.
Because the book has
A ritual.
A ritual.
Okay.
So when she prepares with it, whenever she casts a transmutation spell, that's a range of personal, so like an animal shape or whatever, she gets +2 natural armor for the duration of the spell.
Okay. Well, she can't mem directly from the book. She'd have to transfer all of the information over.
Oh.
Because you can only mem from your own book. You can't mem from another book. You have to transfer the spells in one book to your book, and then you have to transfer the ritual as well.
Okay.
At least that's how I was understanding of it, unless they changed the.
Yeah, I don't remember because I've literally never played a wizard in Pathfinder.
Yeah, you just get the ritual, and then when you put your spells into your book, you can also do that. It's kind of one of those things where like they made the rules and then they added other stuff afterwards. So It's like they might have retconned things. But that's how I always treated it with Maractus, because he's got a couple rituals in his book and he just transferred them from other books.
Makes sense.
Because you still have to read it and you have to translate it because it's in that person's like own personal script.
Yeah, I know that for some things it's like a spellcraft to learn other things, or like a knowledge
to learn from another. But like a scroll, you don't have to worry about it because the scroll's already translated. You just do it. Okay. Brian, we go back to you. You guys are just laughing. He's like, and the T-Rex just chased you down the stream while you were in this weird contraption of a boat? And the dwarf didn't care?
It's a weird world down there, man.
And what about and you blew up the Aspis Consortium building?
Yeah,
and they never knew it was you. They just thought it was their own guys the whole time.
And I go, yep, and I flip them a silver consortium
badge. He's like, oh man.
And the best part is this jacket I'm wearing. It has like another one of those, and a bunch of bronze Aspis badges too. Like, whatever Pathfinder made this jacket, man, chef's kiss. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
To get you into so much trouble.
Maeve, welcome on in. Alex complains about my grimoires and Book of Shadows. Well, that's the way the cookies crumble. He's like,
indeed.
He's like, that sounds almost too ridiculous to believe, but I guess that's why they sent you down there, right? Apparently only you guys could have pulled that shit off. And then he takes a big swig from the bottle of Mwangi that you are sharing with him.
Oh yeah.
Like whatever, I'm like the one because you guys didn't down an entire bottle in one night. So there's still like partial bottles from the night before that you guys were drinking.
I haven't tapped my cask yet, even though it's in I threw it in the group funds thing here, but
right. So any other specific stories you want to tell him?
Avoid the if anyone asks if you ever want to go to Oh, or was it here? The Dark Moon Vale Carnival or whatever that was called. Run.
He's like,
Do
we've
not
been
walk.
getting so many reports of carnivals and fairs going bad. There was one in Thrushmore, or in Thrushmore, apparently, I heard too, that like people were starting on fire.
Oh my God, dude! It is even worse than that. The asshole that runs that place sent us to the plane of fire.
Wait,
We almost burned to death.
serious?
Yes. Later, we were told that it was an accident.
How is it? He's like,
Which-
how is it an accident to send you to the plane of fire? Like,
That's what I said.
Oops, I just sent you. Here we go, plane of fire. And he just takes another
Right?
swig. He's like, fuck that guy, whoever that guy is.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, if you ever get a chance, don't go there. Apparently, they have some monoliths that, well, there's other Pathfinders there that the hoity-toity guy that runs the place technically is Pathfinder adjacent, I guess.
No.
But
Well,
there are more interesting places to explore than that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's why I'm here. I'd rather be in a nice hustle bustling place, and this place is just growing. I got my foot in the door, and I got a long life to live, so this place will always stay interesting, at least for many years.
This is a happening bird, my friend. Just to seeing how much growth even in a year's time. This is amazing.
Mordok was all rub some dirt on it, but the only dirt was lava, and it sucked.
Yep. That's burning dirt for you guys. I know.
He's like, yeah, we still get crusaders that come through. We're getting a lot more merchants, and the town's getting the official name, of course. So like the government's gonna accept this as an official stopping point for all of their stuff, and trading's gonna boom once it becomes official.
That's awesome. That's so exciting.
And of course, backed by our logging industry, because now that the only company that's left has pushed out the big logging corporation. I forget the name of the big logging consortium.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had
So the local dude with one arm, he pushed out the other
Jord.
logging. Yeah, Jord pushed
Jord
out
the one-handed.
Yeah, he pushed out all of like the big corporate logging groups, and he now runs the entire area for the logging, and he does it. He's sustainable. He keeps it sustainable.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like,
you know what? And
he does the area, and then
a-
he has the locals. The locals like replant the trees,
yeah.
and then they just
I'm
move
gonna
to
take-
another area. Kind of like what Sappy or whatever the.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one of the bottles of mead that I've got, and I'm gonna write just a quick letter to Jord, congratulating him on taking over the trade, and I wish him many profitable years. And then I'll make sure to like eventually pay for a messenger or something to go and drop that off to Jord. And I'll say it's from Matt.
Your buddy's like, well, how long are you in for town for? It's like he's across the bridge. You can walk down there yourself.
Well, that's a good point. I don't know. I'm waiting to hear back from Nick and Matt. They went off to kind of check in with their people too. And admittedly, I don't know how long we're going to be staying in town because we've got some business in Ustalav of all places.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
It's been kind of So I don't really know exactly what's going on.
He's like, the buildings are really cool and a lot of stuff is there, but depending on which town you go to, some of them are kind of worn down.
I want to say we were asked to go to some place called Carrion Hill or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know it. Don't know it.
I don't either. But
He's like, I used to hang. I was in Califas for a short while there, and that place is really cool, but also like kind of shenanigans.
gotcha.
Wasn't there for
That's
too long
fair.
though. Just doing a short little stint. Short little stint in Califas.
That's fair. That is fair. But yeah, so I don't know exactly what our time frame is there, but we're hoping, maybe eventually. Um, I mean, we love coming back here. This is kind of our town, you know what I mean? Like, or at least where we were taking away from name for ourselves before we kind of went international.
Where Dexter stuck you to protect you for a while until he could figure out what to do with you.
Yeah, kind of.
That's what it
I
was. He
mean,
put you here so that they wouldn't see you because this place was protected from the Decemvirate.
right,
And then he
right.
sent you to Mwange because that was so fucking far away that they couldn't do shit with you there. Like all the places he sent you was to keep you away from the at the time the Decemvirate leaders out of character.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, and
And I
eventually,
think
like
eventually I
you see a
will.
couple other Pathfinders come in.
Okay.
And one of like it's like a small group of like three of them come in. And they look hot, they look sweaty. They've got a couple of bags, and they look dirty. And they're like, they ask him, he's like, hey, can we get can we get some food order brought over from one of the inns, and we're gonna go bath up and come down and eat. And he's like, yeah, right on it. He's like, sorry, bud. And he pats you on the shoulder. Gotta get to work. And so
All right.
he leaves to go get food for the Pathfinders that just arrived. And they look pretty like they've been in the hot, grueling heat and traveling for a while, but it looks like they didn't bring in long-term stuff now, and it looks like they already have room, so it looks like they're staying here and they're doing um some sort of delving somewhere or something.
Okay. Well, I suppose wasn't there wasn't there some old ruins or something under what used to be Sandpoint at some point?
Yep. There's that there. There's all kinds of stuff in the area. There's the Devil's Platter, the entire Devil's Platter, the
Right.
entirety of the Devil's Platter. And like you can go ahead and make a knowledge local or a knowledge history, whichever you'd like.
They are both gonna be the same, which is gonna be a
They're just going to give you different
10.
information.
So I can take 10 to do a 21 on either.
Yep, pick one. Pick which one you want.
I'll do local.
So knowledge local, you know that there was some dwarves that used to stay in town here, and they actually had a hold that was in the devil's that they eventually found in the Devil's Plateau.
Right.
And something happened where they just kind of all up and left, and so the Pathfinders are actually looking into kind of what was there, what got them to leave, and whatnot. Um, and so you know that area is there as well. Whether that's where these ones went or not, you don't know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and then there's
Oh,
Sandpoint, plus there's all kinds of other areas nearby. Ancient goblin tribes used to be here that like predate mankind. So
okay.
Matt, you walk in to the Pathfinder Lodge, you see the other guys kind of unpacking in like because there's like a little area that you set aside when you get there to like if you're full of shit to not ruin the lodge, so you can like get your main shit off and then you can go to your rooms and clean up and then come back and like go through it and sort it and get that stuff clean. So they have like a little area to like so the whole place doesn't get filled with dirt and dust or mud or blood or whatever from their pathfindering
Makes sense.
excavations or and yeah,
Yeah, I
you
look
see three
around.
people that are there doing that, and Brian's just kind of sitting there with a looks like a bowl that had some food in it, um, and you know, a little glass with some, and he's got his bottle of rum sitting there, and there's two glasses. One of them's empty, and then there's his that's kind of half empty. That's because he can refill it.
I'll walk in and just sit down. I found us a ride to Carrion Hill tomorrow, in evening around sunset.
Oh, great.
The headmaster is trying to set up some, I don't know, school-related relations with the leaders of other groups. So the cost is we have to introduce him to Riley, and then hopefully he can work with Riley to be introduced to Riley's wife and mayor of the town and whatever to try to maybe set up recruitment or something like that. But hey, we can get there sooner rather than later, so that's a good thing. Um, the school also has a little temple. If you and I like, I'll look around at like the bar and the lodge. Do they have like a little shrine to Caden Kalian here? Like I know
Um,
some bars do, some don't.
this bar has like motifs in honor of Caden Kalian.
Hmm.
Especially this bar does, because the dude is an Andoran and he worships Caden
Hmm.
Kalian and freedom. Uh, so this place does. It's not necessarily a shrine per se, but like the whole front desk area is kind of like in honor of him more than anything, and the front desk is also a bar.
Okay.
You know, like the reception, like when you walk into a hotel and you see the front desk and they got like all their front desky stuff there. Well,
Hmm.
it's a front desk, but it is also a bar. It is both.
Cool. Um,
And there are like a handful, like there is a row of broken shackles that hang on the wall throughout the area back there, and they're all broken. And some
like
of
it.
them you like some of them look like they're like not just showpieces, but like they were actually from slaves that were broken open and freed.
I like it. I'll be like, I don't know if you've done any praying or any you know, poured out a drink to Kate and Kalian or however that goes. But if you want to do it in a place that's not here, the school has a temple that you could use. I I'm a little upset that we still haven't gotten our holy symbols back. That's definitely something that we'll have to do when we're done working for Riley. But yeah, I just figured I should let you know in case you were looking for a church. Um, and then I'm gonna say like low because that same Pathfinder sign here doesn't do anything.
Right.
And I'm gonna be like, I I haven't found a place for Nick to give any prayers though. Um, Not sure if I could find a place around here that has a connection to him.
Well, they've all visited each of you kind of separately, so it's like well,
Hmm.
Matt, you've kind of changed with your like direction to Iomade. Like all of them have been influence on each of you, so it's not like they each picked one of you.
Yeah, but I'm like,
Okay, just say it.
but like the idea of like, I don't know if anybody wants to reach out to Norberger, but I
Right,
don't think we'll find a place here.
right.
Um, but yeah, I think like
And that's
Just
and
take time.
speak his name, and he appears. You see Nick walks in.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say Norberger, and I was like, oh
No,
shit.
no. Nick walks in, and it looks like he's got like a change of clothes. Like he's completely new outfit,
Mm-hmm.
dressed very nicely. Comes in. He's like, ah, there you guys are. And he comes over and sits down.
Tomorrow around sundown, meet at
And he
the
holds up his
school.
finger as you start to talk. He's like, and he leans over. He's like, where's the other me? And he whispers it really quietly.
Shrug.
And he winks at you.
I look for the cat.
You do not see the cat.
I think he's fishing.
It's like, okay. It's like, I have something for you guys.
Okay.
I'll wait. He's like, well, I'm supposed to wait till you guys are here, and I really don't want to piss off the person who sent me because we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. I mean, do you want to meet up with all of us later, or is it something you can give us and then we open later? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I really want to get this over with. Maybe we should just go find him.
Sure.
She's like, I want to get this over with as quickly as possible and just be done. As much as I love you guys, and it'd be great to hang out again, and I appreciate all you did for me. But A, being back in this town when all that shit happened, and then well, you'll know. You'll know. He's like, fishing, you
No.
said? So he's probably on the west. Sorry, he's
Yes.
probably east side, over by the fishing docks.
That's where he normally would be at.
He's like, all right, and he gets up. Let's go.
Yeah. Head out.
All right. He heads out with you guys, and he starts moseying on. It doesn't take you long. You actually find Nick. He's talking to a couple people, and he's like, there's a couple kids that are standing there as well talking because Nick's got a big cat, and for some reason, kids can't fucking leave Nick alone half the time,
Mhm.
whether he wants it or not. And he eventually sees your guys, and he's like, "Oh, my friends are here. I've got to go, and my brother's here too." And he starts walking that way, and he's like, and he walks up to you guys, and he looks at the dude. He's like, "What the fuck?"
I look towards the brother.
And he goes, and he goes, he hands a bag to Nick. And he's like, this was supposed to be meant for you to go to them, but he knew it was me. But he didn't want to talk to you guys again or something. I don't really know.
Okay.
But yeah. And you see, roll your perception. You guys can roll your perception as Nick makes this face. Because he puts this big bag, like it's not quite a backpack. It's almost like a carry bag into Nick's head. It's like this crimson carry bag.
I got a 29.
Yeah, you both see, like, it's not dry. And you realize that it probably wasn't originally a crimson color.
That's not awesome.
And the dude's like, all right, I'm out. And he's like, he looks up, he's like, and he looks up to the sky. He's like, I did it for you. Please don't kill me. And then he casts a spell and goes invisible. And he's like, thanks, guys. I hope if we meet again, it's in better conditions, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. And you don't know when he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick's like it's gross because it's like wet and slimy in Nick's hands.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel.
And he like, let's go out where nobody's watching. And he like goes and finds like the public restrooms.
Yeah, like go find a place that.
Yeah, you guys find a place that's
away.
away from. Actually, you guys go over to where the fighting arena is, and you like just step over the line. There's nobody there. It's late enough in the day that there's no combat, so you're like over by the bleachers, or maybe even under the bleachers of the damn thing where there's nobody watching. And he sets the bag down, and as you set it down, it like folds over, and you see that it's tied off, and on the tie, it's got a clasp, and it's got a symbol, just a little like a wooden symbol, like a wooden carved symbol of Norgorber on it.
Mm. But I'm casting detect magic. Fuck this. Like I don't.
There is there you well. It takes what, a foot of lead to stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's magic inside the bag of some sort.
Okay. Like
No, well,
evocation magic.
no. It's just really powerful magic that's unidentifiable.
Okay.
From multiple sources.
I will look at.
He's like, Nick's like, I know, I'm already full of this fucking stuff. So he's like, and you know, like you, Matt, you need to have that shower thing. Nick doesn't like to have shit on his hands. Like he needs to wash his hands, whether he's digging in the dirt, whether he's got grime on it or sweat, or whether he's been like making food. Like he has to wash his hands and he's just like cringing because he's got this blood on his hands. That's like, it's not dry, but it's still kind of fresh enough to just be gross. It's not like super wet, but it's super sticky. And so he like unties the bag and opens it up. And he's like, should I just dump it over? Should I reach in there?
Probably dump it out. But like let's kind of block anyone else's view from seeing whatever horror might roll out of this thing.
Yeah, what kind of spells you got? He's got any spells you can use? The cat blocks a whole area because the cat just stands there, right?
Yeah, I don't.
And you know, the guy that could cast other spells because he was, something else is not.
Yeah, besides casting mirror image, I really don't have.
Yeah, Nick is all like buff type stuff. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Nick's got a great place to hide. Nick actually goes to the church. Brings you guys to the church.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And on the wall of the church, he casts a spell.
Ooh.
And it opens up a stairway that goes down. That only you and he, because he lets you, can see. And he brings you guys down to these stairs. And it closes off behind you, and you are in an extra dimensional underground space large enough to hold 2 creatures of any size per caster level, which is 9.
Oh,
Maximum 12. And it's sealed by a 5-foot square camouflage trapdoor that is locked from within, and he locks it. It is called Sylvan Hideaway,
nice.
which he has not used yet because has had no need to. But yeah, so you guys are in this thing. Nobody can see. And so yeah, he kind of dumps it out. There's multiple things in there, and the first thing that happens is you see a severed head rolls out.
Yep. Effing guess that.
Can you guess? Okay, since you guessed that, can you guess who?
Nope.
It's the
I
guy
cannot guess whose head.
It's the guy that robbed you, that pretended he needed help.
Ooh.
Oh.
I feel bad about not feeling bad.
Except for there's a note stapled to his forehead.
Wait. So like actually stapled, or like somehow like
A piece
like a
of
knife?
bent metal shoved through the paper
Okay,
and through the
okay.
skull. So yes, stapled, but not like our type of staples, but like a staple was made like a carpenter in the modern
Okay,
era would make.
that's what I was trying to figure
It
out.
looks like it was stapled to his head while he was still alive. Because
I
there's
would
some
have no
blood
way to know
traces. What's that?
Said I would have no way to know that.
Well, yeah. Nick says that with his knowledge shield check. And the note says, the 3 of you shouldn't be so stupid next time. Don't repeat this mistake, or you will regret it. I'm not going to keep cleaning up after you.
I just put my holy symbol on. Now I'm cool just wearing it.
And also, as Nick's like dumps out the rest of it, you see a severed hand. Severed from the elbow down. And it holds all of the items that were stolen from you.
Ooh,
It is
I don't even
also
know
the
what those
guy's
are.
hand. You recognize his hand.
Oh, okay.
Hey, grab the Caden Kalian mug.
And yeah, it's all of their holy symbols. The 3 holy symbols. Of
And the
various
awkwardness.
of whatever their variousness was.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm like, so what happens to the head when your spell ends? Like, do these things, like, do we have to get rid of a head and a hand? Will they just go away?
Like
Or we could burn them.
because I'm guessing they're going to get shunted from the spell, and they'll just end up outside the church.
Okay, so we have to get rid of a head.
Yeah.
Let's see if the spell says. Any furnishings of the room are made of the same material as the room, cannot be moved once created. Once the spell ends, anything inside the space is ejected to the surface in the nearest equivocal space. So yeah, it just gets shunted out.
How does Toivel feel about eating?
No. Nick just says no. The cat even has like this low growl that you can like, you can't hear it, but you can feel it in the vibration of the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And roll your sense motive, all three of you.
$39.
Nice.
25.
So, Matt, you get now that there was something to the doppelganger's, the way he was acting, and the way that he just like, he's here, he did his job, and he got the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
That was odd about the whole situation. Like, yes, he probably had an idea what was in the bag because it was disgusting, and he was probably terrified, because of the situation. And you're guessing either a person of Norgorber or Norgorber himself initiated the situation with him.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily cover how he worked. Brian, you realize that it was kind of an idle threat from Norgorber that because he could have had anyone deliver that message.
Right.
But he had the doppelganger who looked like Nick
Right.
deliver it. And you get the idea that should something happen that he, the doppelganger, was going to die. Like, there was some sort of threat of his life on this whole situation. And
Right.
while he didn't die, afterwards, the doppelganger said he thought I was Nick, but somehow he should have known that I wasn't Nick. And you realize in that idle section that Norgorber was threatening your lives, not the doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that is a very subtle way of saying, don't fuck up or one of you will die.
Yeah. Because
I'm not fucking around with this shit.
Yeah.
You realize that. You also realize the other two didn't catch that subtle clue.
So guys, I think we should talk about something. I'm going to kind of go over that with the two of you.
And Nick's like, me? Is he going to kill me? What the fuck did I do? The stupid doppelganger just keeps fucking with my life. Maybe I should kill him.
Fucking doppelgangers. They get you every damn time.
And remember, you guys turned the doppelganger away from being part of the Blackfire Adepts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, he was working with them to fuck you guys over, and you turned him against them. A raid! Roddy Mama!
Roddy Mama!
Thank you for the shout out, Bentley! Welcome on in, Raiders! How is Ghost of Tabor? Welcome in. How is the stream? How are things? Loves you, Roddy Mama. Hope you're doing well. A raid. We're just kind of we're closing in. We got a little bit left on our tabletop role playing, but welcome on in, Raiders. Wednesday is tabletop role playing day. We always do tabletop role playing or tabletop role playing adjacent stuff on Wednesday evenings. So welcome on in. We also do video games here. If you're not familiar with me, we do video games on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Mondays is talk show night, where we interview friends, family, people we know, celebrities, authors, whatever. We have talk shows with all kinds of cool people on Mondays. So welcome on in, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're playing Pathfinder First Edition tabletop role playing. It's kind of been very story based today and kind of player driven stories today. So yeah, welcome on in. The party just found a severed hand and a severed head with some items that they lost from a god they pissed off. So you explain that this is kind of a threat, and Nick goes on a tangent about how he wants to kill the damn doppelganger. Of course, you guys remember that you guys made friends with him and turned him away from the Blackfire Adepts and actually fed them false information through him and took down the little sect that he was working with through him and through his help before you guys went to the
Yeah.
Mwangi.
I mean, he originally yeah. I mean, I know it kind of fucked you this time, but there's he's really not a bad guy when you get to know him, or gal, or whatever they want to be,
Right,
because
whatever they
they
want to
can
be.
just, yeah.
Sorry, it takes a few minutes to get the headset off. Yeah, no problem, Roddy. I understand. But welcome on in, Roddy. Thank you for the raid. Hopefully everything went well. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully the games went well and you won and survived. Roddy Mama, of course, had done some Movember. The Movember RPGs with Steven the Shark was her first kind of delve into tabletop role playing. So she's kind of interested to all of the things. It's only pixels. It is only pixels. It is. But yeah, the party just pissed off a god. Well, they found out that they pissed off a god, but they pissed him off a while ago. Beep bop beep bop boop. Thank you, Queen Lee, for the Pedro. And welcome on in as well. Well, in this particular game is like got all my pieces together and have started getting stuff together so that I can start role playing other stuff that happens in this town with the community. So as soon as I can find the rest of my information.
The new map looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Much better than that hand-drawn one, huh? And
Yeah.
this is a low-quality version because it wouldn't let me upload the high-quality version.
Well, yeah, because it probably took like 15 times more space and like way too big to even upload.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because I couldn't go over 10, and so it was like 20. No so. What do you mean no so? Shh. No. You get a so. You get a shout out, Queenly Dove. You get a shout out. You get a shout out. And you get a shout out. And you get a shout out. You want to give Queenly a follow. You can find her during the day. If you're sitting there during the day and you ain't got nothing to do and I'm not on, of course, you can go hang out with Queenly, oftentimes playing games. You just chill in the background. I do. No shootouts. Okay, we will not shoot you out. We'll just shout you out. So yeah. How do you guys dispose of the severed hand and severed head?
Do we know of any pig farms in the area? Let me tell you about a pig.
I don't think so.
I mean, I could turn it invisible and let it be invisible for a while before we leave.
Nick's like, we could just tie it to something heavy and throw it in the river.
That is an option.
I am always lurking in Queenly's stream. I mean, I'm home during the day, so I like pull up everybody's stream when I'm home. Sometimes I have like 20 tabs up. But I try to get everybody up and say hi and make my numbers count.
I have 3 vials of acid. Could we melt them?
I don't think with 3. You could maybe do some damage to that hand. Redneck says, go find someone and ask them if they need a hand.
Actually, You said the school studies different forms of magic, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of respect all forms of magic, right?
I I don't know enough about them to be able to properly answer where this question is going.
Well, I was going to say you could offer up these things. We could offer these up things to the school for their necromancy studies.
I think they're going to want to know the source of the corpses they get for their necromantic studies.
And we'll say that we can honestly say that it was ethically sourced.
Nick's like, yeah, I think we should just either drop it in the lake or bury it in the ground.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's fair.
probably bury it. Can put it back in the bag. I'll use prestidigitation to clean it up.
Oh, good call. Good call. Can you
So
get
at
my
least it's
hands
not
too, please?
bleeding.
Can you get
Yeah,
my hands, please? Thank you.
clean the hands.
Thanks. All right. You guys get rid of the head. I wasn't too concerned. I mean, if you dig a
Okay.
hole, you can have the cat dig a hole because his paws are like this big. That cat,
Mhm.
you don't, who needs a shovel when you've got a giant tiger that can dig a hole? Like, if you've seen how dogs dig holes, that cat can be like, roop, roop, roop.
Yep. Yep.
And you guys got shovels and stuff too for digging latrines and toilets and stuff. So I'm not too concerned. I was just kind of giving you guys some thinking.
Yeah, getting rid of it, like you don't always think how to get rid of,
Yeah.
treats.
Yes. And then you think to yourself, is how we dispose of the head going to offend Norgorber?
World knowledge religion.
Go ahead.
Just to see what I might know. Screw it, this one feels important. I'm gonna spend an inspiration point to get a 20 on my D20 roll.
Okay.
Let me just roll with my inspiration. A 34.
He is the god of murder. He's not going to care if you dump it in an alleyway or if you dump it in the water or if you crap on it or if you wipe yourself with it. He don't care. The message has been sent. His job is done.
Yeah. That cool. Yep. You
So,
don't have to worry.
all right. After you dispose of the head and hand, I should have made it I should have had it cut off at the shoulder, so I could have said you dispose of head and shoulders. But where do you go, and what would you do? You're way over on the priestly side of things where you found where Nick was at. You
Okay.
realized you were vaguely threatened, but you have those items back.
I
And who is carrying what items? Matt, I'm assuming you're going to take the Iomade
yeah.
item.
Yes, I am.
Brian, do you just swipe the Caden Kalian before Nick can grab it?
Yeah.
I kind of figured. So like, Matt's like, we look at the items, and Matt's like, well, I mean, I've just finally. He grabs the thing. I don't even know what balls I have. That didn't come out right. Never mind. All right, off to bed. Have a good one, Roddy Mama. 5 a.m. does come way too early. Have a great night. Thank you for the raid. Take care of yourself. Enjoy work, and we'll see you down the road. The road. I appreciate you, Roddy Mama. Take care of yourself. And so yeah, and then Matt takes the item, and Brian, you and Nick kind of look at each other, and look at the bag, and look at each other, and you both go to get it, and you're like yoink, and it's like son of a bitch, and takes the Norgorber thing.
And I'm like, what can I say, man? he's my wingman. And like,
so yeah, you guys have the items and you've got the rest of the evening free. Anything you would like to do? Or you just want to retire at the lodge and just hang out there?
I think I just want to retire. I don't
yeah,
have, well, I mean, I guess, and this is something that like probably do like more offspring, but like sell some of the stuff we have because there's a magic shop here, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
little things like that. But like I don't need anything new made because we also don't have time.
right.
But I think like go to the Pathfinder Lodge and just find out what's been happening because we know time has moved faster. Like we've skipped through things. So just to try to
No,
catch up.
time has moved slower.
Sorry, time is well. I'm like talking about like the time we spent on
Oh,
the plane of fire.
yeah.
Like
That's
we
true. Yeah,
have
yeah.
time
The
to
last
catch up.
year, how much stuff has happened in the
I
last year to town?
Well, and I do have a whole list of stuff we can sell. So yeah,
Yeah, and we can do all that off. We
yeah,
can
yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah.
plan a time where the three of us get together and actually chat over those items off stream.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
you guys kind of retire at the lodge with this regained knowledge or regained items that you guys have lost due to once again one of these gods kind of intervening and and just kind of almost reminding you that they are kind of there watching and in some cases looming, in some case just like hanging out. And it's nothing new or different because you guys have dealt this with all of your lives, all of your different lives. There's always been shit like this. Um, so it's not new or different, but at the same time, there's something else going on. In the town of Biston's Pond, the economic dealings have grown. However, you find out that the town doesn't have an official leader. The town doesn't. It's got like a group of people who have all decided that they're going to do stuff and they're going to try and work together to get things done. But they haven't like voted on a mayor. They haven't decided who's in charge. They haven't decided how their how their city politics are really going to work and how to move forward as a town because most of the people here and the way the town was formed were off of the backs of some adventurers,
Sure.
some notable, well-known people, and none of them are here anymore.
Uh,
They've all kind of just left. Maractus comes back from time to time to check in on the school because he works with them. And the person that's kind of staying at the tower is kind of his proxy, but not really. Um, the uh, there is a small dark. Is it dark lanterns, Matt?
The Lantern Bearers.
Lantern bearers. There is a small lantern bearer lodge lantern bearer lodge that is formed here, um, but that person has a new place and he's got someone else that he's got to look over with and he's got this new elven connection that he's got to deal with, so he's not here very much either. um and some of them are rumored to have disappeared when Sandpoint disappeared and has not been seen anywhere. Another one they know lives in an entire another continent on the other side of the planet, probably never to return. So the founding figures of this town, the adventurers that put it together and have saved a lot of these people and worked with a lot of these people, they can't be looked to form the politics of the town and the way the town is run. It is up to the citizens of the town, the people that have moved here in that time, the Rasmarins, the priests, the fishermen, the leftover villagers and people from Sandpoint who came here and didn't return after the previous incidences had happened, the farmers that have moved in, the merchants that have come here, the children that have grown up. Because again, like the Sandpoint stuff took the course over many years. Some of those children have grown from being 8-year-olds to being 16-year-olds on their own, starting businesses of their own and finding trades. The loggers that have moved here and the workers of the loggers that have moved here. Like I said, some of the Crusaders, as well as the growing factions of people that are finding militia work here, protecting the town's area. And all of that, they're the ones that are kind of in charge of trying to build what this town is going to be and what the economy is, but there's still no structure to the government because there isn't a government. And that's what the township is trying to figure out and trying to put together. And that is also going to be the backdrop of the mini adventures that I'll be running for our community. So with that being said, this is Biston's Pond. And those are some of the many changes that have occurred. And all of the things that come with that. And the growth that is still happening.
Very cool.
Very nice.
So I am glad that you guys chose to leave out that door instead of waiting, because it allowed me to kind of bring it back to this place that was very familiar to you all. And yeah, and it does have there's a lot of traveling merchants that come through, and some of them stay, some of them go. Also, any ships that would be going to Sandpoint and don't know, they dock, and they actually have to travel to do their trading here. Because they have to trade, and they can't go back with a boat full of stuff that they were supposed to go to Sandpoint.
Right.
So the people of Biston's Pond have left a sign at Sandpoint saying Sandpoint is no more. If you need to do trades, come downriver to Biston's Pond. And a lot of them just take their little skiffs and row the fuck up the river against current, because that's their only choice. Going back is easy.
Yeah, when you're going with the flow.
When you're going with the flow, but yeah. And that is where we will end it, with you guys hanging out in the Pathfinder's Lodge, catching up on the town, taking care of yourself, and back with your possessions, your items that were stolen from you.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they only had to murder one guy to do it.
Very true, very true.
I mean,
So, with that being said, everybody watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out for the Old School 3 as usual. This is a once a month-ish show. The next one will be next month, like the first or second Wednesday of the month. I'll get that schedule kind of put together. I don't have it written down, so I don't have an exact date yet. I have to look. But thank you guys so much for being here. We are going to raid out. I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I don't know what I'm playing yet because I finished the kitty cat game. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. If I'm not on at 10, just kind of wait for the alert or the push notification, or keep an eye on Discord for all of that stuff. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to raid out to Arvan Eleron. He is an author and he is a gamer. They are on day 33 of Community D&D with the Shadow Crew of Waterdeep. They're doing a Dragon Heist game, so we're going to go on right over to them as they play a D&D. But yeah, he is a writer, author, and gamer. So thank you guys so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day, and don't forget to stay hydrated and take care of yourself. Thank you, Siribot. That's new. I've never seen that before. So yeah, come along with us. You can use my raid emotes, your raid emotes, anybody's raid emotes. I don't care. Just make your voices known. Say hello. Represent. And we will see you guys down the road. Take care and good night. Bye, everyone.